Oh man, look, it's so good to be on here by myself for once so I could talk about things that I really want to talk about. I don't want to talk about Harry Potter all the time. I get enough of that in my life because my wife is a huge Harry Potter fan. So I have like a list of things that we can talk about on this one. Um, Starting for the first one I have here is I never realized when I was a kid watching Ghostbusters that Rick Moranis's Louis Tully, he actually banged Dana. It's one of those things that never really thought about while I was a young man.
Why are you live right now?
Now I'm not listening to nothing you're saying, Jason, because that's why I don't have my headphones on. So I could just talk all I want without any interruption.
why,
So that
why is this thing live right now? I'm sitting here trying to put my clothes on, trying to get my face on, trying to get ready.
because we told people 9 o'clock and it's 9:15 almost, and I understand we be on CP time, but I try to at least
It's not us.
Well, I thought you guys were gonna be on at 9, so I was like, "Oh, I'll roll in, get my stuff going, and be ready to rock." But what I was talking about was before you came on and joined us is that I never realized in Ghostbusters 1 that Louis Tully banged Dana.
Oh yeah, he totally fucked.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that until I watched Afterlife. And then
in his defense,
yeah. I mean, I don't think he has anything to defend. He's the winner.
I mean, but he didn't really remember it. I mean, he wasn't in control. Not like she was like, Louis Tully, that's the guy I want to smash. He was the key master, and she was the gatekeeper.
He would have remembered it by the logic of Afterlife, because Paul Rudd and the mother make the mention of how they. So that means that Tully and Dana remembered that they.
Bill Murray still wanted to smash.
Hey, look, man. Sometimes
honestly,
love is true love.
Firstly, Louis Tully is probably like packing anaconda in that pants of his, because at the party of the first one, he had the blonde looker who was like, "I want to dance with you," and then Janine was all like, "What's going on with that dude over there?" And the number 2, she was like, whatever he's got, I want," and I'm like. When I was a kid, I was like, Janine's fine. I thought Janine was the best thing over.
Oh, I thought facts. So that was and one of the things that I had to mention in pre-show was that I never realized that Louis Tully, he got the draws, dog. He got the draws.
Accountants, they fuck.
You know what? If you want to make a new era for people going to school to be an accountant, that's the slogan right there.
Yeah, accountants, they fuck.
Hey, Lisa.
Hey. I was a
Jason decided to start the show without us. Like, we've not been doing that for the last 6 weeks without him. He's like, these jokers.
Oh, damn. Y'all just recorded me getting my life together. You better edit
I was
that.
putting on my shirt when I decided to this thing.
God. I wouldn't have logged in if I would have known that nonsense.
It was so refreshing to be like the first one on. And it was like, I get to have this to myself. And I was like, what really grinds my gears? And then
hoagies.
Yes. You know what? It's funny you say that. I'm probably the only human being in the world that's like, I'm not a sandwich man. I don't like sandwiches.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Like bread, meat, cheese, bread. It's like
the Earl of Sandwich would be so disappointed.
Yeah, he's turning over his grave. Also, he's turning over his grave because a black man can use a computer, but
doesn't even know what a computer is.
Yeah, he's like, what? So he's spinning over like all over the place. The Earl of
Sorry,
Sandwich.
I'm still trying to get situated. So
just like we've had that Captain America conversation that it's very jarring that this guy got brought back in. No questions about the black people randomly walking around. Like, stop it, Captain.
As soon as Fury shows up, is like, you've been awake or asleep for a long time. Captain him like, yeah, and where's my freaking pants, boy, or something?
Right.
Excuse me, Steve Rogers is from Brooklyn. He would never
1940s Brooklyn.
Nope, everybody knows that
white
the
version
North
of
didn't
Brooklyn.
have racist people. 1941
Brooklyn was like
No, no, Jason. History is history. The Northerners were never racist.
Right,
they didn't
right.
own slaves, Jason.
1941 Brooklyn is like 2023 Brooklyn. It's straight white.
I
Michael
refuse
Che
to
said
believe
it
that
best.
Captain America was racist. Also, he was in the Howling Commandos. Like,
with one black dude.
Doesn't matter. The
that
best black
doesn't mean he
dude.
talked to the black guy.
Yeah.
He probably just ignored the black guy.
He did.
Probably,
Can you guys not come after Steve? I can't handle it.
When he was jogging around the National Mall, he probably was like, "Man, what's Darren Luke doing? I thought he'd be dead by now." It's like, nah, two different dudes. Remember?
No.
That Family Guy episode. Hey, Jackie Chan. Hey, Jackie Chan. Like, yeah, that's Captain America. All of them look alike.
I can only imagine like going to probably never interacting with black people to being in a country just where it's like exclusively like, especially he was living in DC, so like that's a chocolate city. He probably was like, what is going on here?
Shit, just think about the first time he went to Wakanda, how freaky that would have been for him. God damn. and I say this in respect of like, even as a grown 20-something-year-old black man, my image of Africa was nothing like what Africa's really like.
Yeah.
My image of Africa was the Lion King. So can you imagine a guy from the 40s coming to the enemy like, whoa, it's all this stuff.
Wait a second, y'all have cars and planes and stuff?
Right.
They even speak English in certain parts.
Yeah.
Right.
That. He's like, what?
I am Steve.
Yeah.
Rogers.
I'm like,
what
bro,
are you doing,
no.
bro? Yeah. We're Captain America. We have TVs. We speak English here.
It's like, why are you talking like that? That reminds me of this TikToker who does this thing where like people will send her comments like, how do you get water in Africa? And she will like be sitting next to a sink and she'll come up with this really elaborate story on how they get like water or something other basic utility while like sitting right next to like whatever it is that any modern person would have. Like, oh, in Africa, we get the water from the elephants. They put their nose in the water and then they come and put it in our buckets. And then we take the buckets and she'll be sitting next to a sink or something like in her house, in her nice, like, multi-million-dollar house or whatever. Because people are ignorant.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Well, we just don't like. It's so much of what we even see is it's always like the destitute part. Like, imagine if like a lot of people think that like we're from Georgia, right? And so a lot of people think that Georgia is just like backwoods.
Wait, time out, Lisa. We're from Atlanta. We're from the Atlanta metro area. That's different.
Okay, I agree, but a lot of people just think I agree with you. So, but people are like always surprised because like the biggest thing people always hear is like the thing that I always get is people don't believe I'm from Georgia because I don't have an accent, and I'm like, yeah, because I'm not from the boonies. Like,
I'm not from that part of Georgia.
Yeah, go one county over, and they all got it. Like,
go up to Winder, you'll hear.
Yeah,
it.
I'm a Grady baby, so like there ain't no
I will
accent.
admit, as a more closer to the northerner guy, I did feel like I came down here. I'm like, no accent, no accent. What?
Yeah.
What is this place? You guys wearing shoes? What is going on here?
Yeah.
When I first moved to Georgia, there was not the little boy came over and he was not wearing shoes, and my mom was like, "Don't you do that? Don't you run out of this house with no shoes on."
Oh man.
I mean, to be fair, we don't really wear shoes when we go outside, but
yeah, I know, and that's how you get a ringworm. Okay.
Okay, well, I'm almost 40 and I haven't gotten one yet, Jason.
That you know of. Your guts are probably filled with like nothing but.
You know what else I bet
parasites.
happens? I bet if you go outside with wet hair, you get pneumonia.
Yes, that's how I got pneumonia. Ask my mom.
I'm going to text her right now. I'm going to have my husband text her because he got direct phone line to her.
She'll tell you I had pneumonia when I was 3 because I had wet hair. I nearly died.
Lies. It had nothing to do with your wet hair. That is not a thing.
I was out in the rain. My mom told me to come back inside and I caught pneumonia. My hair.
No, that's just something she told you to
make
you afraid to listen. I'm not saying you didn't get pneumonia. I'm saying it had nothing to do with you not listening to your mama.
Look, my mother told me at 3 years old that's how I got it. So therefore, it is right.
Always in your head forever and ever from that moment be like, oh, I need to listen to everything my mama says or else I will die.
I still kind of live by those rules.
Yeah, still didn't.
Yeah. Like, Black Mama's a little tough to like not live by those rules.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't imagine.
I mean, what do you mean I can't go outside with shoes on or without shoes on? It didn't hurt. Get your ass in here, and I'll show you what's gonna hurt. And then, you follow that rule next time.
I wanted to talk to you guys about. Are you guys watching Last of Us?
Are we watching Last of Us?
I stopped after the gay episode. Oh, not because of the gay episode, but just because I just haven't had time. I feel like it came out really wrong.
You sure did, Jason. You just
we are allies here, Jason.
God damn.
Yeah, the gay episode, bullshit. I can believe in zombies that have mushrooms in their head, but two men falling in love and having a beautiful life together. That's where I draw the line.
Oh, I mean, a thick line too. No, I'm joking. I just haven't watched past episode 3 yet. I've watched parts of episode 4, and then I had kids will be playing or knocking stuff over, and you know how it goes. Parent life.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. I was waiting for somebody to agree with that. Like, yes.
I didn't know. I know exactly what you mean.
No, I do not pay attention to my child whatsoever. Like, he could be like burning down the house, and I'm like, Daddy's watching TV. Leave me alone.
Keep it down in there.
But Lisa, what
Father
were
of the year, y'all. Well, Father of the year. No, so originally I did not want to watch Last of Us. I had no desire to do it, and and ultimately, like, my family watched the first 2 episodes without me, and then they were like, "Come watch this episode," which was episode 3. They're like, "Just sit down, watch it with us. It's going to be amazing." But so I watched episode 3, bawled my eyes out, and then I was just like, my family is going to make, like, this is something that I should watch with my family. So I went back and I watched episode 1 and 2, and then I watched episode 3 again just to torture myself. And what I found out was this last week when we were talking, I was talking to my family when we started the last episode, is it's so depressing. Like, there is no happiness. And even when there is a happiness, it is very quickly squashed. And it's not that I don't know. I know how the game's going to end. Like, I watched James, my life partner /
the technical director of the show.
Technical director / producer, yeah. Baby daddy, all those guys. Okay, so I watched him play the first game when it first came out, and then but I did not watch the second game playthrough, but it is something that my kids and they all played together. But so I know what's going to happen. So it's not like anything's a surprise for me, but it is a downer. However, it is fucking brilliant. It is such a good show. It is so good. Like, I didn't know about Henry and
Sam.
Yeah,
I didn't know about that.
I missed that part of the story, and my family had braced me for it. They were like, "We need you to know what's going to happen."
Well, also, in the show, Sam's a lot younger.
Before we
go any further, I mean, we're not. I didn't.
Okay, I haven't watched it. I'm just making sure we don't stumble on something.
We didn't say anything, but also in the show, Sam's a lot younger than he is in the games. Sam in the game is the same age as Ellie, whereas I guess Henry's a little bit older than what they portray him in the show. But I think it's an excellent show. And I also think there's a lot of beauty to it as well. Like, in this previous last episode, you see a couple old people who are just like living their lives and enjoying.
I know, so amazing, yeah.
And like, I feel like Frank and Bill's story is so amazing, and I thought that was a pretty, like, I don't think that's a downer to me. I cried because it was touching. I didn't cry because it was sad, because they were like, this is our life, and I don't want to spend this life without you, right? So I don't know.
I think because then you get so sure. So Bill and I can't think of his name. You literally just said it. Yeah. Okay. Like, yes, it was a beautiful story, but then it's always tinged by it. It ends with Joel going and finding his dead bodies, and like the note is literally like, "Take care of Tess," and you're like, dead. Like,
that's not a spoiler. She dies in the first 10 minutes of the game, guys.
Yeah. So
I'm just interested to how do you play like the gay episode in the game?
So it's not. So the episode.
It's hot coffee and Sands and Terriers.
Oh, gotcha.
Right? Bill is still alive in the game.
I'm joking. I know. I'm just messing around.
Okay.
You have to use both thumbsticks, all right?
I misunderstood the question. Sorry. But
it's
it was an ignorant question. You were on the high ground. I was on the real low ground. I was Anakin Skywalker over here.
It's heavily implied in the game that they were lovers, but you don't ever actually explicitly see them together at all. Because by the time you meet Bill in the game, Frank has already
he says it in the game that they were partners. He says in the game that
he says that they were partners, but they didn't.
Yes.
He doesn't. But you'd only find out later when Ellie finds the male new magazine in Bill's truck that you're like put two together that they were.
So it was like,
why would you say partner in a zombie apocalypse? Like, get
out of here. That's my partner. Bill's black. That's my partner over there. Look. We friends.
I kind of feel like you would say partner in a zombie apocalypse more than any other time, because like if someone were to shoot you for being gay, what police are going to go come and arrest you? So I feel like that's even more of the time to be like, yeah, now we cool. We just friends. But
we boys. We friends.
Right. Like
boyfriends.
We boyfriends.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to give anybody a reason to shoot you, that is a weird one that can really easy end on. Be like, oh, he wasn't going to procreate, so let's get him out of here. Like, yeah, we know it's wackadoos out there, especially in a zombie apocalypse, that will love the moment just to kill somebody for any.
Oh man.
Well, that was the other thing. That was the other thing that I said, because I don't want to give spoilers, but especially in the fourth episode, you realize, I think I was the one who said it, like zombie apocalypse, welcome to zombie apocalypse, where the scariest people are the humans. Like they're not even worried about the zombies because they're just worried about these fucking humans.
This also reminds me of a thing, because a lot of people like, and I don't want to conflate the two, but I kind of do in my head that a lot of people, especially with the new Harry Potter game, everybody's like, I'm going to be Slytherin, Avada Kedavra. It's like, how many people out there, with their work for the laws in place, would just be straight villains? And it's like 95% of everybody.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know. I think humanity's better than that. Because
I would hope that humanity's better than that.
We've made it this far in society.
You wouldn't survive the first wave.
Dude, I am an absolute scumbag. I'm going to be king.
Not you. I was talking about.
Okay, look, we have historical precedents to understand that people wouldn't do it, because back in the day, police are more of a Martin thing in history than it's ever been back in the day. So we made it this far existence. So everybody being the bad guy really didn't happen, because people were like, oh, I guess we keep killing each other, society won't continue. Maybe we should figure that out. So
have you not read about European history? They were murdering each other like every other weekend. It was like,
and white people still are hanging around here somehow. Yeah, still figuring a way to make
They're like cockroaches.
Right, still figuring it out.
We just keep
somebody stopped killing. Yeah, somebody was like, maybe we
because eventually they found Africans. They were like, we'll just kill them.
And Africans are still around, so eventually somebody stopped killing again. Like, it all keeps ending.
Because eventually the Africans found gazelles.
You know what? You should have went with Mayans. That's the one you could have went with, because people don't claim themselves as Mayans. So but other than that,
a lot of indigenous. Where do you think all of Mexico comes from? They're not all just.
Oh, again, I agree. I was just trying to give you an example of something that people think had died out, but everybody else typically made it. So eventually, somebody was like, maybe this killing thing ain't the way.
I think you're. I 100% agree with you. I feel like, especially in like The Walking Dead, where it's like, why are y'all trying? Like, why is it so hard to figure out society? Like, we've been doing it for like ever. Like, why are y'all? Why is this like not a thing anymore? Like, oh no, we can't find a place to live. Like, come on now.
Right. If all these abandoned houses, nowhere to go. Nowhere to go.
That's why I do like Last of Us, because it does show that they kind of bounce back relatively. Yeah,
some people
quickly.
Figured it out.
Yeah, like to the point where there is a established government. And
as I said, I'm moving to Wyoming when a zombie apocalypse.
Hell yes, and I hope I get those people as my neighbors, because they are amazing.
You and Kanye.
I mean, if Kanye's there, then I'll move to Colorado. I don't know. Kanye is definitely going to be on some freaking, supremacist stuff. Like, it's going to be like He's gonna build pyramids, like how they had down in Eatonton, Georgia, that cult they had, where he's like gonna be wearing pharaoh robes and like sacrificing people to Ra or something.
Whoa!
All right, we want to start at 20.
No,
everybody go with 20.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we can keep going. I mean,
let's go.
No,
it's fine.
You want me to start?
I'm like Captain America. I mean, I can do this all day. So
I guess I'm starting. Yes.
Well, yeah.
All right. Hey, welcome to the Headcanon Circus podcast. I'm your host, the Duke of all nerds, the Duke of all blurs, the Lord of the Night Skins, Jason. Thank you. There's applause. Welcome everybody to our wonderful show. We have a jam-packed episode. It is the last few days of Black History Month, so this episode's gonna be black. It's gonna be Wesley Snipes black. It's gonna be like my gums black. That's how black it is.
Nice.
Of course, I have my two wonderful co-hosts. He is the Martin Luther King to my Jesse Jackson. Jason, how's it going, Jason?
Man, I don't know if I could get that kind of high of a level, but I get it. The correlation of friendship, I get it, man. But that's a lot. I'm doing all right, man. It feels good to be back, man. I feel like had to come back today with some real hot takes because I feel like last week without me, you guys really set the tone, and I'm like, oh no, I got to get back on this show tomorrow. So I'm here to pod today, man. I'm here to pod. Let's do it.
Did you get a little bit of FOMO?
Yeah, he felt left out because we had fun last week. Lisa actually laughed at my jokes. It was great.
Yeah, I finally got out of prison,
but it was
so yeah, I got my bill posted. So yeah. Speaking
of, she makes sure that she's the only reason anybody will actually watch this show. Honestly, it's Lisa. How you doing, Lisa?
I'm doing great. I'm a little offended that I didn't get like a pairing. It's fine. I've known you longer than Jason, but it's fine. It's fine.
What do you want me to say? It's like any other
hi y'all.
Male female relationships are like always weird. So she's the Bella to my Jacob. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but Jacob was the cool one, right? Like the other one was the lame.
Jacob was the least problematic. Yes. But that is a very.
Seth is the best werewolf by far.
Was he the least problematic? Because didn't he try to bang a little kid or imprint on a little kid?
Look,
Jacob, but that's not his fault. The vampires.
Yeah, it's Stephanie Meyer's fault for
for making that a thing because she could write anything else and she chose
literally. It's her entire world. She can literally do anything, and she's just
if I can't have you, Bella, I'll have your child.
With a baby.
Yeah. So Jacobs is like the beginning of a Disney villain, and it's like, I couldn't have you, so I'll take your kid. Isn't that how Rapunzel started?
The way she explains it, they're gonna be just super best friends up until the point where she's like, "Yeah, I'm old enough to have sex with him."
Isn't that called grooming?
I don't know. I just think
let me wait till you're 18. Now we can get married.
It's called
imprinting.
She's also super Reynolds Wrap also ages really quickly, so I don't know if that's if she looks 24, but she's really only 3.
Doesn't matter. I can't. This is a different show.
Yeah.
Okay, when I
look,
talked to
I didn't write
Sarah,
the books.
She definitely wants to come on the show, so maybe we do something like that, and we just go down the Twilight rabbit hole. And, yeah,
and just pick it apart.
So we're going to do a Twilight episode where we watch all the movies and then
please don't
talk about them. Because I'm halfway excited, but halfway apprehensive.
Oh God!
I don't know. I'll think of something. We don't even have to watch it because I'm sure I've definitely seen them enough times that I don't need to watch it because I can remember everything.
I've seen the first 3 movies and I wanted to pull out all my teeth and gouge out my eyes but hey. That's what the show's for.
Yeah.
Make Jason suffer.
Yay! Except for
Sarah
this week.
says she can totally talk about Twilight.
Yeah, there we
that's
go.
What we'll do.
I knew she would.
Sarah, welcome to the show.
Yeah. You know that thing that you like? It's creepy and disgusting. Let's talk about it.
If you do Ghostbusters, then we got to bring on Jaren and let
Jaren,
God,
No, that's not going to be fun.
show her his proton pack, and that seems really weird saying it that way. But
I don't.
He really has a proton pack.
No and Jaren, the entendre plus the double entendre are going to be involved.
Yes.
For those of you joining us, and if you're joining us for the first time, please like, share, subscribe, turn on notifications. If you think that our reviews or our comments are out the whack, please jump into our comments and tell us how much you love Elvis, or think that being white is the best thing in the world. And we love the engagement, and we will come back and we will engage with you. Jason loves going through the comments and like picking them out, and he will actually tag you in them and say, hey, we're going to talk about your comment at this time with this show. Please join us. So make sure you go ahead and like, share, subscribe, and notifications so you know when our shows are up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Leave comments, please, even if they're problematic.
Yeah. Especially if they're problematic. I love the problematic ones. That's why Jason's Martin Luther King. I'm more like Huey P. Newton, except with all the respect and actual motivation to do things. But I'll tell you about stuff. But as I said, we got a jam-packed show for you today. We are going to be reviewing Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. This is especially a black movie because it's Jonathan Majors in it, and by him being there, it makes it black.
Yep.
And then
the rules. There's the rules.
And then we got two shows that are probably fighting to be added, including the conversation about the culture. We have Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, and then My Dad, the Bounty Hunter.
Can I tell you guys real quick? Maybe I should wait. No, I'm going to still tell you now. So whenever Jason had put in the text thread what to watch, he put My Black Dad's a Bounty Hunter. So I literally Googled that. My Black Dad's a Bounty Hunter, and it took me forever to find that show. And that's why I asked. I was like, "Is it my dad? My dad?" I was like,
"This is not. There's no way they named the show this." I'm gonna take out the word black. My dad's a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
That popped up.
No, that's what I was like. Is this
actually, I typed it wrong. I should have put My Dad, the Black Bounty Hunter. That's why I should have done it. But needless to say, you found it.
Yeah, I found it. Yeah, I was like, oh my god.
Also, people, if you don't mind, we have a little thing on the internet now. Besides ourselves, we have our Headcanon Circus website. That's what this thing is called. You can come and view our very latest episodes. You can view our videos, the ones that Jason has actually edited and put up. He worked so hard on. You can read a blog. Lisa wrote some stuff. I wrote some stuff. Jason don't want to write no stuff because he's really good at it. So either way, come, please share. You can comment.
His profile's 87 million words.
Look
it's like a dating profile.
My profile, one paragraph. Lisa's profile, 2 paragraphs. Jason's a book. He's like, oh, I can't write a blog post. You already did one.
Because I don't want to ask any questions oh, Jason, where you from? Read the bio. Oh, Jason, what things you like? Read the bio. So just easy.
So you put everything in there. But you'll be able to, join our mailing list for one thing.
I even put my social security number. Also put my bank account information in there. So again, read the bio.
Yeah.
If you want to, be a sponsor of the show, we have a link that you can send us an email and send us money because we are desperately poor, especially me. And you can join our Pantheon.
Yes. All that delicious goodness that we're putting in the beginning of the show before we start the show is going to end up on the Pantheon, guys. So you guys got to get there.
Yeah. Obviously, in my Pantheon, I will be the god of beer and titties.
Yay!
Nope. So you guys want to?
Yeah, let's start.
I don't even know where to go from there.
Was it ever on the rails? That's the question I want to ask.
We started this pretty. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's go with the first things first. Ant-Man and the Wasp find themselves exploring the quantum realm, interacting with strange new creatures, and embarking on an adventure that pushes them beyond the limits of what they thought was possible. That's what Google says about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, if you don't know, now you know. For everything we do, we give it a 1-sentence review. Since it's Black History Month, Jason, go ahead and start us off with your 1-sentence review.
My 1-sentence review is: this giant man of a movie shrank my enjoyment to an Ant-Man size.
Damn.
Oh,
Lisa, go ahead and give us your 1 sentence review.
A movie where lying liars lie and pay the price.
Pretty astute. And for me, I'm gonna go. How's the next big bad guy for the next 2 phases going to take an L to Ant-Man? Hell, I'll believe Hawkeye over Ant-Man. That's what we're talking about.
Facts.
All right.
Just so everybody knows, spoilers.
Yeah,
oh yeah, this is gonna be big spoilers.
Guess what? Ant-Man dies at the end. He gets murdered. His face explodes. Eyeballs pop up. It was very, very graphic. I threw up a little bit in my mouth.
That's not accurate. That's not accurate at all. Liars.
That's the movie I watched.
Jason's trying to get cast in the movie. He's a liar.
In fact, that would have made it a whole better movie for me if that actually happened. Jason, I know that you had some strong opinions about this. Why don't you go ahead and kick us off with this discussion here?
Oh man, it's very rare that I go first.
It's my kids. So I'm just going to keep at least last.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We gotta celebrate the ancestors by letting me go first. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna come off the rip. I hated this movie. This movie was terrible. It's trash. It sucks. I'm debating if I rather want to watch Thor: Dark World or watch this ever again. That's where I'm looking at. I'm juggling it here. And people say, "Well, why do you hate it, Jason? What's so wrong with it?" And I think this is like the last review we did, Love and Thunder. I think I'm just tired of the Marvel thing now. And I think it may not be the movie's fault. I don't know what you guys are going to say, but I think I'm just tired of the Marvel thing. Like, at a certain point, is anything even serious anymore? Does anything even really have threats or consequences or anything that makes the stack the odds against them? Because hell, in the middle of the big fight, one character just told another character to stop being a dick, and he was like, I guess I'll change my life. And that was completely okay. And I'm like, what? How? How, Sway? Like, it just, look, go see Jonathan Majors in this movie. His Kang the Conqueror, up until he gets, the brakes beat off of him, is great. When I said he gets the brakes beat off of him, I'm like, yeah, literally by a bunch of ants, he gets the brakes beat off of him. And the one thing that just boggles my mind in this movie is that if Kang is supposed to be this big, huge threat and conquered all these multiverses and universes and all this type of stuff there, I'm not even worried about him taking the L. The part that bothered me the most of this whole movie, and when I left, I was really like, I'm over it, is that once they go through and they close it, and, old girl comes back and they close it and they fight him again, they just open up the portal again. They don't know if Kang won or lost. So literally, they was going to let him just walk back out. If he won that fight, he would have walked right back into the world, and the whole movie would have been obsolete. And at that point, I was like, oh, I'm nitpicking this much. I must really hate this movie because most movies have issues with. I'll be like, oh, that's what they're going to do. I'll accept it. It wasn't good, guys.
Apparently in the original cut of the movie, they were actually Ant-Man and the Wasp were actually supposed to stay and get trapped in the quantum realm.
Would have made more sense.
But unfortunately, I guess it leaked on the internet, or I guess an early screenplay, and they changed it to something way worse. Listen, if your screenplay leaks on the internet, okay. Yeah. Just keep making your movie. It's fine. It's going to be okay. Don't make a worse product because of it. Because I would agree with Jason, like not with his assessment that this movie is terrible. Because I ended up having fun with it, mostly because Jonathan Majors is fucking amazing, and he could just for me it felt like there was 2 different movies. There was one that Jonathan Majors was in, and there was everything else.
yes.
Because Jonathan Majors definitely he makes Kang feel very menacing, but he also makes him feel not like he's just pure evil, but he's a person who thinks they have a purpose and have to figure and follow that, even if it means hurting people. So it doesn't seem like he's evil in that sense that he's just like, I just love killing people. It's so much fun. But like, I thought it was really cool that the way that he portrayed it, especially when he was like, when I can't remember what Michelle's fight, Janet Van Dyne, when she finds out who Kang really was, Kang was like, I'll still send you home and you can be with your family. And it's like, I told you I was going to do that. And like, yeah, I'm going to go do some other heinous shit, but I made you a promise. And I thought that was like, that's like, like Thanos would have been like, I'm going to fuck you up. I'm going to fuck all these other people up. And that's going to be into it. Like, I really, really enjoyed.
Well, Thanos would only fucked up half of them and let the rest have the reap the reward of the plentiful nation he gave them. Right.
But I would definitely have to say that there are parts of this movie where it's just like there was in previous Marvel movies, especially in like Phase 1, Phase 2, or whatever. There were funny parts, but they weren't silly per se. It wasn't like, hey, let's stop everything, this huge changing and dramatic moments to make a dumb joke and make it like, haha, this is for the kids or whatever. And not saying that these movies aren't for kids or whatever, and you shouldn't, put things in for them. I'm just saying it's just, for me, it's just like, as Jason said, it takes away the weight of what's going on if you're going to stop and do a 5-minute interlude about calling another character a dick, or if you're going to be like the whole thing. It was a little. Even though I love David Dastmalchian, he's got to this movie after they wrote him out. It was like that's funny-ish the first time, but like after like the 7th time, you're like, okay, now that joke's getting run to the ground. And let's also say that like pretty much every other character that isn't Ant-Man, his daughter Casey, and Kang doesn't have a role in this movie. Maybe a little bit with Janet Van Dyne.
Yeah, I was say Michelle Pfeiffer has a
but freaking Michael Douglas, he's just a walking corpse in this. Freaking, they shouldn't even put the Wasp on here because she barely says anything. Like there's no character arc for her. She just comes in and saves Ant-Man's ass because apparently they gave her better powers. and honestly, I like to see her fucking movie. Like just because she is better than Ant-Man. Like the only reason Ant-Man beat Kang is because of her. Only reason anything happens because of her. And that's also weird. Why doesn't everybody have wings? Like, come on, y'all are here together. Give everybody wings, like, and shooter blasted things. But there's one thing that is really, really egregious to me in this movie. And that's because
only one?
there's a lot of other things. But the one thing that I really, 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 really just like, oh, this really just got me in the back of my throat and I just could feel the bile burning, was that William Jackson Harper was barely in this movie. And they gave him like the most throwaway like character. And if y'all don't know who he is Chidi from the Good Place.
Oh, I was wondering, like, who are you even talking about? You should just tell me the black dude.
Is phenomenal. That dude. And he's a phenomenal actor, funny, talented, great, could be a star. Literally could be a star. And they gave him this fucking, and like he could be in the MCU as a main character. Like that's how good he is. And they gave him this fucking like this character does not interact with the plot whatsoever, other than to have these silly jokes where I can read your mind. Does this come into play in the story whatsoever? Nope.
Whoa, Jason! You have to realize that there's still the rule of one. You got a black king. We ain't gonna give you no other black characters that's worth a damn. You better slow down. Got Black King, we got Black Captain America. You ain't getting the Black Reed Richards, even though they were, pushing for this guy. A lot of people were pushing for this guy to be Reed Richards in the MCU. But of course, everybody wants fucking nice guy Jonathan Krasinski, even though he's low-key a scumbag. But damn.
Look, that nice guy thing is a fucking act, and Jim is a sociopath, all right? And I think he's just playing just himself in the office. He's a sociopath. I see it. It's gonna be like Arnie Hammer. He's gonna come out with a basement full of dead bodies and a freezer full of people parts, and it's gonna be horrible.
I refuse to believe that Mary Poppins would be married to a sociopath.
She's probably one too.
Nope.
She did a movie with The Rock.
She's not. She's not. I know it. I know her personally. She's not.
Please tell us, Lisa, that you love this movie and that we're all wrong. Please tell us that.
So, I fucking love this movie.
Yes!
I loved it. And I was like so excited. First of all, I am an Ant-Man fan. Like, I am one of those people who loves the Ant-Man movies in the MCU. And I know a lot of people don't love it. So, I loved it. I love this movie. The only thing, like when we were done, my kids went and saw it with me, and we were talking. I said I miss their friends. I missed the interaction with the Russian guy T.I. and what's his name, the comedian
Michael Pena.
Yeah, like that to me, I felt like what I was missing, and I was hoping that one of the after credit scenes would have that. And I think that you guys are forgetting Ant-Man was always very quirky, and I just think it kept the tone of the previous Ant-Man movies. And yes, and Scott Lang is not Hank Pym, and he's not a superior Ant-Man. and
why he should have lost.
and I think Scott Lang has always been strong because of the people that he has in his, like, on his team, you know, like he always needs the people on his team to help him. And so, yeah, I loved it. I thought it was funny. I was laughing hysterically at the dick part, you know, like, don't be a dick, like, you know, and MODOK, because MODOK is fucking ridiculous. That is like the most ridiculous character ever. And then whenever he starts saying it, and Scott's like, oh yeah, it's an anagram. It's an anagram.
I get it.
Yeah, like, it's funny because they have, their lives are, someone is always trying to kill them. They're always, you know, it's always the end of the world. And
it's
I think
existential nightmare.
Yeah, and even, you know, at the end when you have Scott thinking about it, like, oh shit, did I even do anything? And he, I mean, and that's the thing, like, and I talked to my kids about it, and I said, in the grand scheme of things, he probably didn't do anything, but he had to do what was right for him in that moment, which was save his daughter. And the other outcome, like, regardless of if he saved Cassie or not, the big bad is going to happen anyway. So he can't control, obviously he has no control, but he does have control over if he's going to save his daughter. And I think that Kang proved that it doesn't matter what he promises, he's probably not going to deliver if it doesn't serve his big picture, what he sees, because he didn't hand Cassie over. And I'm not convinced that he would have sent Janet home. And unless it didn't interfere with his vision, you know, his ultimate goal. So Jonathan Majors was fucking amazing. He was amazing, and he's a fantastic villain. And I love, like, what I loved about him was, which I think that Marvel does this pretty good, is their villains always kind of are justified, you know, like, they're not just bad guys. Like, they have an ultimate, like, they have a
good reason. They just go about it the wrong way.
Correct. Yeah. So even with, like, when you talk about, like, Magneto, and, like, I'm one of those people who is on Magneto's side, and you know, so nope, I loved it. Everything that y'all hate about it, I fucking loved it. So y'all are wrong, I'm right.
I want to also be clear, even though I am trying to shit on this movie, I do not hate it as much as Jason does. I actually was having fun. It's just that a lot of stuff in it, I'm just like, it makes me laugh because I'm, you know, a slope Brian idiot, but, like, I want a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe it's just like I want a little bit more from, because the trailers made it seem like this is going to be like Ant-Man's definitive movie where he's, like, down in the gutter and, like, there's no way out but to, like, only thing that he can win is, like, by making Kang lose. But, like, no, he just wins. Kang doesn't lose. I mean, Kang loses and Ant-Man wins. Like, that's the end of this. Like,
I don't think Ant-Man wins. I think that that's the whole point. And he talks about it. He thinks it too. And it's like, well,
yeah, he like, gives it a second thought because Kang says, "Oh, there's other motherfuckers out there that are not just me, and I'm not really the bad."
Yeah,
Ant-Man won.
But Ant-Man beat Kang, and they threw him into the freaking core and killed him. Like,
that Kang.
It's not like, that Kang. It's not like in Infinity War where, oh yeah, they might have, you know, injured Thanos, but Thanos still gets his plan off. Like, Kang didn't get his plan off, like, it at all. Like, he was defeated. Or, like, even in, like, something like
or maybe he did, because he's the master of time and we don't know yet.
Yeah, but this is one movie.
Maybe he did, Jason. You're just like, you.
Yeah,
he's
but
seen he's the master of time, and he keeps on saying he's seen every outcome. I agree that it does seem like he died, but I still wasn't convinced. I had to ask my kids. I was like, so did he die or did he just go somewhere else? And they're like, no, he died. And I was like, but, like, we didn't see him explode. We just saw him almost like,
sucked into a better. Maybe he went to an even more quantum realm.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Obviously, there's no fucking rules in Marvel. They just keep making shit up.
Because it doesn't make sense that, you know, there's a tiny universe under our universe that's, like, exactly in your living room.
Yeah.
like if you shrink down smaller, like, that makes their universe a lot larger. Y'all just find the regular motherfuckers that y'all left.
It's like the Men in Black open up the lockers, another universe in the locker, and then yeah. I like that. At least I like that. Oh, so go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, it felt a little Star Warsy. Did you guys get that?
A lot of Star Wars.
Yeah.
It felt a lot of Rick and Morty-ish too, but that's because
Rick and Morty, Star Wars, and a little bit of Wakanda. Like
one of the.
At the
go
end.
ahead, Lisa.
No, just at the end with with the fighting, and I was just like, these. I wonder if they're taking these, if they're reusing sets or what, because this could be right out of Wakanda.
Yeah. Well, one of the head writers is from Rick and Morty, or the head writer of Rick and Morty wrote this film. So that's probably why it has a little bit of Rick and Morty D-Day. I also want to talk about MODOK and the way that he looked. And I thought, like, they need to give Marvel's animators and special effects, they need to give them a vacation of like 2 years so they can calm down. Because that shit was horrendous. Horrendous. Terrible. I don't know why they try to make, what's his face? It stretches Corey, I can't remember his last name. I was going to say Corey Hawkins, but that's a black guy. Corey Stoll. That's his last name, I think. But like, why do they stretch or give like a deep fake over this obviously CG animated thing? And it's like, y'all could just make that 100% CG and it looked 1,000 times better than trying to like deep fake his face on there. It just looks.
And like the worst part is like, that is a great idea to give MODOK, because then it attaches MODOK to AntMan and gives him more purpose and more urgency. Like I said, it look. I hate this movie, man. I don't know how much more I hate this movie. Because it's you know what I hate it? I hate it because there's so many opportunities that could have made this movie work, and every single time they just drop the ball. And it makes sense. You mentioned that it was written by somebody that writes Rick and Morty. That makes sense when you're doing a serialized thing, because Rick and Morty's known for putting some great ideas out into the ether and not touching it for like 3 seasons and then bringing it back and saying, hey. Now, just like no different than Avengers 2, this could be one of these situations where 7 movies down the road, we go, oh crap, Ant-Man 2 was on to, Ant-Man 3 was on to something. They had all these things.
Or even Thor the Dark World, where you say, like,
right.
Down, like, oh, they're on something.
We ain't that far now.
Thor the Dark World is the most important movie ever.
But it's just so many, like, even I could go through all the missed opportunities. Hell, one of the biggest missed opportunities was Cassie's trauma. Yeah, as a 6-year-old girl, she watched basically a full-on like video game fight in her room that ended up with a train going through her bed. Like, she mentions
half
it.
The people disappeared.
Right.
And she thinks her dad is dead.
Yeah, it's a lot of trauma that people deal with it and play into. And the fact that maybe she should have had like a fear of MODOK, because this guy is the guy that damn near almost killed her and destroyed her life. Like, it just, but they make a comment to it. That Cassie's like, oh, I've been blah, blah, blah since 6, because blah, 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 blah. And she's like, happy-go-lucky. I'm like, what are you talking about? I do like, also, go ahead.
I want to say they set up like kind of like a plot point that like Cassie and Scott's like relationship is strained, but like they resolve it like 20 minutes into the movie. Like,
the quantum realm will do that for you. Time is different.
But if you're going to make a thread, let it be a plot thread and stretch it throughout the movie. Like, maybe Cassie falls under the spell of Kang, and that's because she's rebelling against her happy-go-lucky dad. And she's like, oh, this guy, something. I don't know. That sounds cliche, but still.
I would have been fine if they would have stayed in the quantum realm. Now, I didn't know that ending existed. That makes me a little bummed. That would have been a good ending.
This movie was poorly written. It was poorly edited. It was poorly CGI'd. Hell, you didn't even have to even make that Michelle Pfeiffer's character had a backstory with that. You could have done this whole movie without that backstory crap, and it could have just been like, hey, this dude is in here running things, and this Joker ain't no joke. Like, it's so many moments they put in here just because I think it was like, oh, well, this gives more urgency, but then they undercut all the urgency that they put in the movie. Like, I don't get how someone sat down with a script and all these people that write Marvel movies and sat down with this and was like, yeah, this is the best way to go, because nothing makes sense. Like, Kang is a conqueror of all these multiverses, but gets washed by one group of ants and people. Like, are you serious?
It was like a cajillion ants.
Honestly, very humans on this planet right now.
Joker literally said out of his mouth, are you the one with the hammer, insinuating that he's waxed Thor in many occasions. So much so that he's waxed Thor that he don't even remember what Thor looked like. Yeah. But these jokers beat you? These jokers? And then like the whole premise of like, again, her spending this time with Kang, but never mentioning that she spent this time with Kang, or the fact that all this quantum verse travel that they did all before that moment. But this one time was this one time they shouldn't go to the quantum verse. Like, didn't one of them end with them getting zooped into the quantum verse and a mouse having to free him? Literally, but none of this was. Guys, come on, we got to stop this with Marvel. We got to stop this with Marvel. They are not even being consistent with themselves anymore. They're just making shit up and being like, because it make $1 billion, we'll be fine with it. I think I'm done. I can't anymore.
There was a point.
Yes, it's maybe not for me. Yes, you are 100% correctly.
Like Hope was like, "Hey, what happened? What are we up against?" And Janet was like, "I can't tell you because I'm trying to protect you." He's like, "No, like tell her you're in the shit right now.
Right.
Tell her we'll like help her." Like it was very frustrating because like that's a common trope that we see in movies, and it's like in that one, like you could like be like, "Oh shit, yeah, this is what happened to me," and I didn't want to tell you because I was traumatized by it. But nope, I'm just gonna be like, I'm just stringing along until it becomes relevant for me to tell you.
You know what I would have taken? I would have taken that getting out of the quantum verse did something to her brain and she forgot. That would have been a more plausible thing than I can't tell you, but we got to run. And while we're running, we're really just walking. And while we're walking, I can't talk, but I can keep telling you that I can't tell you.
Just trust me. Just trust me. I'm like,
it's a lot.
Mother,
it's a lot.
I love you, but you need to explain yourself.
But I don't blame Marvel for that because that's just a writing trope that I don't blame Marvel for. Everybody does that trope, but it's just
physics is not working here. Like we're tinier than the atoms. Go ahead and just let it out. I don't think you know what. Whatever you have to tell me, it's not going to really reflect our relationship because we're already fucking tiny people. So let's just do this. Like it's really weird enough. I think
why you liked it, Lisa, and I'm not speaking for you, but I think why you liked it. I think it's because the point of view I came into it with, like you came into it completely with it. Oh, this is an AntMan movie, similar to 1 and 2, where it's just going to kind of be almost disconnected from the rest of the universe. They're usually heist movies and they're just fun and goofy and whatever. If they never, and like what Jason said, they never promoted this as like the beginning of Phase 5. This is the beginning of the Kang dynasty, you know. So, and then you do these previews that make it seem like it's going to have this huge gravitas. I think, and that's on me. That's on me. I assume that was the reason why you put it in this movie because everybody's used to this being so goofy and silly that the change of tone would shock all the audiences realizing, oh, this is real. This is serious because this goofy character is now like not being goofy. He's taking this serious. So we in turn would take this serious. But instead it was, nah, we still AntMan, baby. We out here.
We having fun. Look, that guy has broccoli face. That's crazy. Isn't that crazy?
So I think that's why maybe didn't do it. I think I put stuff on this movie that shouldn't have been on this movie. And that's on me. But nah, I'm good. I probably will never watch this again if I don't have to.
I probably will. I'll like, it's a Marvel movie. I watch Thor: The Dark Thunder or Dark World every time it goes on TNT. So I'll be here.
Just what I need the fans to do a supercut of only the Kang scenes. Send it to me, and that's how I'll watch the movie from now on. I won't watch any of the other parts.
Look, Jonathan Majors, coming from Jonathan Miners here.
Hi, I was waiting.
Happy Black History Month. Thank you, baby Jesus, for getting us Jonathan Majors. Because if it was anybody else in this movie, I'd probably be like as hateful as Jason is. But because it's Black History Month, I'm giving him a pass, and I'm giving AntMan a pass because he's coming with them. Because I know AntMan's bringing a potato salad with raisins in it, and I'm like, you know what? You hanging out with John? You cool? Like, we're gonna put this over here.
Cassie would never let him do that. Cassie would never let him do that. She would throw that out real quick. She'd say, no.
It's like you bringing him, it's cool. I vouch for him. Then I guess we're all cool.
Cassie, the activist. Oh, I'm not gonna get started on that either. But all right.
Look, they were cutting down stuff in San Francisco. You multi-millionaire twat.
Right.
Y'all live in San Francisco. Y'all live in Oakland. Or Stockton. All right. for everything that we do, we're going to go to our rating system. If we think something is great, we give it a head. If we think something is mid, we give it a cannon. If we think something is straight doo-doo, we give it a circus. All right. Since it's Black History Month, I'm going to start with Jason. How would you rate the story of this?
Oh, circus, clown shoes. Can I go below circus? Can I be like a dirty, nasty carnival?
What's below?
Show. You can do whatever you want.
What's the rating below circus?
Our show. We can all do what we want. It's a different world. We can do what
the rating below circus is a PT Barnum.
Oh yeah, so this is the greatest show. It's that low. It's the greatest showman. Sorry, the greatest showman. It's that low for me.
It's a PT Barnum, everybody. Lisa, go ahead and rate the story for us, please.
The story gets, I think it's canon. It's not, I mean, it's not the worst Marvel movie. I loved it, so I understand the plot holes. I'm not a dodo, so yeah.
I'm going to agree with Lisa and give it a canon too. It's not the best Marvel movie, but it's not it's not Thor: Love and Thunder.
No, I actually stayed awake for this whole movie. So
it's not Thor: Love and Thunder. All right, let's go with the performances. Lisa, how would you rate the performances in the movie? Ha! Made you look, Jason.
Performances, I think that they're head. I loved everyone in this, honestly. Michelle Pfeiffer, every time I just looked at her, I'm like, God, why are you so beautiful?
Oh, dude, like, she looks like she's still 25.
She is. She can get it. I'm just saying. Like, she is. Yeah. So, yeah, no, it gets head.
Jason, go ahead and give the performances a rating for us.
I actually, just off the strength of Jonathan Majors and Paul Rudd, I mean, I'm gonna give it some head, man. Like they're strong in this movie. They were the most interesting things, even though I didn't like all the stuff that was going on around them. And Michelle Pfeiffer was great too. So let me not say that. So those three performances for me stand out. I'm gonna give it a head, almost close to going to a canon because Bill Murray is wasted completely. They could have put me in that role, and it'd have been the same thing. It would have been the same. I could have been a nasty old man too.
Hey, did you know I had sexy old moms? I clapped them cheeks. They were great. It was like 1,000 years ago. And time is immortal here, so it just keeps happening.
Hell yeah! Did she tell you about that other Catwoman suit she got? But that's what I said.
I would also say that between Paul Rudd and Jonathan Majors and Michelle Pfeiffer, that would give it a head. But then I would ding it for William Jackson Harper and Bill Murray and Michael Douglas. So like somewhere in between canon and head is where I'm landing, like right in the perfect middle.
the taint of the head.
The taint of the canon and head. The taint mean of canon and head.
Maybe a little tea bag.
Yeah, the little tea bag action. Just a little plop, when the water's a little bit too high and you just plop right down and you just little kiss.
My parents listen to this show.
This is why my mom does it.
I'm so excited. This show's disgusting.
All right. And for my last question, who was the least utilized? William Jackson Harper or Bill Murray?
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
I'm going to go Cheaty because actually, it's a black dude. So I want them to get as much work as possible. Underutilized black dude. Welcome to Hollywood, Cheaty. Welcome to Hollywood.
Your career is not going to go the way you planned.
Right.
Welcome to disappointment. All right. So we're going to give this movie an all-around score from 1 being the worst thing we've ever seen in our lives to 5 being the greatest thing since... I'm going to say The Wiz because it's Black History Month. These numbers also don't correlate with each other. So
that's what I needed to hear.
We don't have to disclaimer, man. F them people.
Look, no.
A rating.
Ron Dawson pointed this out, so we have to give him disclaimer. All right, Jason, go ahead and let us hear your score from 1 to 5. You can also give it a 0 if you want, or negative numbers. We don't really care.
We really haven't made rules of this. But no, all jokes aside, I'm gonna give it a 1.5. Jonathan Majors is great in it.
Damn.
Paul Rudd's Paul Rudd. Michelle Pfeiffer has something to do. Cassie's annoying. MODOK's annoying. I would say Janet's annoying, but I mean Hope is annoying, but I didn't even know she was in the movie. Bill Murray's whack. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 1.5.
There is one person in this movie that's put their heart, love, and soul into this. It looks like this is the greatest. This is what they think is their greatest achievement in life, and you just went and spat in their face. It's probably some grip or a gaffer who's like, "This is the best."
Or the Jon Snow looking guy who was holding the gun for like a second and then just got completely like wiped. Him.
There was an extra here who's like, "I'm in the movies. This is the greatest day of my life." And Jason's like, "No, you're worthless."
Pick up an MCU movie to be in.
You go back to your hole where you belong. Lisa, what would you rate this movie?
It's a 4 out of 5.
I'm
gonna definitely watch it again.
I'm gonna split the difference and go. It's a 3 out of 5 because it's not egregiously bad like Thor: Love and Thunder, but it's not Black Panther 1. Let's go with that.
Correct. It's not. Black Panther 1 is so fucking good.
I'm sitting here trying to debate. Do I hate this more than Thor: Love and Thunder? It's close, man. I don't know. I mean, that kid, the kid's getting Thor powers. That's an all-time low for me.
Even though Christian Bale was really, really trying to do his best to elevate the material to Christian Bale levels, I feel like it was so freaking goofy that it's just like there was no stakes to it. There's nothing that there was like. There's no. It was just like watching. It's like eating cotton candy, but like after you've already ate a whole lot of cotton candy, so you're like, "Oh, well, I'm eating more cotton candy. It's making me feel sick."
You need a better analogy. I would never feel that way. Nope. Pick something else.
It's like never. I can continue to eat cotton candy.
Nope. Not a thing.
But this one, like, because of like Paul Rudd's general charm and Jonathan Majors just being a badass, like I felt like there was still some meat there, even though it was undercut by goofiness. So like in Thor: Love and Thunder, I was like, there's no meat here. Like, even when characters are supposed to be dying, he's like, here's the joke. You're not going to go to heaven because you didn't die in battle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Oh, yeah.
One trick pony.
Jamie Alexander deserves better.
Yeah. She deserves way better than that.
Okay.
Let's move on to something else besides Marvel movies. Or let's go on to more Marvel stuff. How about that? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Why not? All right, here we go. After 13-year-old super genius Lunella accidentally brings a 10-ton Tyrannosaurus Rex devil dinosaur to present-day New York City via a time vortex, they work together to protect the city's Lower East Side from danger. That is what Google talks about of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur on Disney+. If you don't know, now you know. For everything we do, we give it a 1-sentence review. Jason, go ahead and hit us with your 1-sentence review.
Oh, man. Starting off.
It's Black History Month.
Yes, you're right. You're right. I am over the moon for this show. The girl's devil is all in the dinosauric details. There we go.
Ooh.
All right. Lisa, why don't you hit us with your 1-sentence review?
Black girl magic and a sick beat. What else do you need?
Facts.
Was the snaps written in your
You'll never know.
Write down snaps.
I
will know. I know the guy who knows the password to your computer. I will know.
He doesn't.
Good. As long as you didn't read snaps, that's good.
Yeah, snaps.
Because I would have read it. Yeah.
My 1-sentence review is: watch Moon Girl with your kids. Watch Moon Girl by yourself. Watch Moon Girl. That's actually like 3 sentences, but I make it the rules. Who cares?
Yes, facts.
I just want to go out and start and say, I fucking love this show. Like from the very first, I was in the opening credits and I was like, I love this shit. Like I didn't need to see any more of the story. I didn't need to go on for the next 6 episodes and watch this beautiful, vivacious little girl, fight weirdos in Lower East Side Manhattan. Because that's also like they're millionaires too. They own a skate rink down there. They ain't poor.
Shit, I know that's right.
They try to pretend like they are.
Yeah, they ain't poor.
We know how that works.
They own a building. They're the 1%.
Yeah.
Look, I just went to Sparkles the other week and paid $50 just to get in, so I know they not poor.
Yeah,
and they in New York. That's $100 in New York. Like,
yeah, people coming up there. But man, does this show like? Oh my goodness, it just hits on every single level for me. Like from the hair episode to
classic.
First, let's just throw all that shit out the window. The reason I love this show is because of Mr. Friend of the show, Larry Fishburne. All right.
Larry's a friend of the Okay, yeah,
he's a friend of the show.
Larry
Fishburne. We don't first name nickname basis. We don't call him Lawrence. We call him Larry down here because he's our friend. And like when you find out that I guess this is a little spoiler. It's a kids show, kind of, sort of. So like spoilers ish. That his performance as the Beyonder. Oh, just chef's kiss. It's
classic.
It's they have a pretty stacked voice cast for this show. Like, you know, Alfie Woodard as Mimi, freaking Larry Fishburne, you know, Fred Teskari's Devil Dinosaur. He's like a staple of any animated show. So like from the art style to the characterizations, you know, the story is, you know, monster of the week. You know, she has to tackle whatever challenge she's facing and learns a lesson in it, like any other kid's show. But like just the vibrancy alone makes this like something that you put like lock up in the Smithsonian and like bury it for future generations so they can have it like 1,000 years from now. Because it's good. It's good. Go ahead. I'm gonna continue to gush if I continue to keep talking. Anybody can start. Lisa, how about you?
Okay. So, no, yeah, the show was so good. It was very on theme too. For like, I feel like this week everything was about secrets, people keeping secrets. And this was just completely on theme with it. I love her friend who's like literally, and this is another thing we were talking about that Marvel just does. It is a super tense moment. There is a monster in the skating rink, and her friend is literally just turning up her phone. It's like taking pictures to put on. And she's like, stop. And her friend's like, okay. Like, that shit's so funny. And I feel like realistic because there's a reason why we see so many videos of people fighting and stupid shit like that, because
we watch a lot of TikTok.
People gonna be videoing it instead of just getting out of the way. I wish that a cartoon like this existed when I was a kid. I'm glad that my kids have this. And one of I watched the hair episode twice because that is
classic.
That is, I think so the hair is something that is good, that kind of transcends, like it is very important in Black culture, but it's also important in girl culture. So even if you're not a little Black girl watching it, you can still relate. Relate because then you know like how important it is, and especially because she's at like a weird age where she doesn't really know who she is, and she, you know, and she cares, she wants to be independent, but she still cares about what people think. So the hair episode was just so amazing. I watched it twice, and that was another thing where I was just like, if her mom would have just fucking told her that her hair burned off in the beginning, she would have done it. Like, you know, but I know it needed, you know, plot device. I get it, but
culturally, that's very on point. Your parents tell you how to do something, but they don't explain it why.
Oh,
they just
okay.
Don't do it. And then you realize, and then you do it. It's like, I told you not to do it because I could have told you your hair fell off.
Well, I would have told you what would happen. Yeah, exactly. Like, why didn't you just tell her first? And but no, I definitely remember like an age where I was on my own doing my hair, and it was picture day, and I looked like a hot mess, and everybody made fun of me because I didn't know how to get, like, I had really long hair. I didn't know how to get all the tangles out of my hair, and I just looked like trash. So I, you know, that I might got a little teary-eyed in that episode, and that might have been why I watched it twice. So but again, we're talking about a cartoon that's clearly made for children that me as an adult am enjoying. I'm rewinding the songs. So I wrote down one of the lyrics, in one of the songs, she says, "Don't be mad because I'm doing me better than you're doing you." And I'm just like, God, why are you so amazing? So, yeah. So, yeah, I could gush about it all day long. I was sad when it ended because I was waiting for the next episode to come up, and then all of a sudden it showed me a preview for somebody else, and I was like, but,
right.
You know? Yeah. I was wondering, Jason, if you were gonna like it because of the animation. That was like one of the first things. I was like, oh, I wonder if he's gonna ding it because of the animation.
Oh no! Like stuff like this is A, it's creative. B, it's not derivative of most anything else. I think it kind of reminds me of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, but like that's the only thing I could relate it to. And C, like it's about Black people, made by Black people for Black people. Like, why am I not like it? Also, I texted you guys this because I'm not a big hip hop fan, but the one thing that I think this show does amazingly well, and it's also really cool that they do it. It's like every major fight scene when she's about to overcome the villain, is put to a song, and like those songs, and I'm going to use a term that's probably 5 years too old, they slap. They just knock the taste out your mouth.
I downloaded the soundtrack to the show,
and like and the first few songs there are like traditional hip hop songs, but then they go into like funk and R&B, and then like freaking Larry Fishburne does like a 60s kind of like groove song, and it's just like who would think of that? Like I remember the days when if you had a song in a cartoon where they featured a song in the cartoon, it was thrown together, it was mess, it was like the least produced part of the show. Like usually if there was like a hip-hop song, it was probably the hip-hop song written by the granny at your church who had only heard hip-hop, tangentially because it was on 60 Minutes at one point.
Right.
That's how
I'm the rapper granny, and I'm here to say that she's going to have a very good. Yeah, I get what you. Yeah.
Or if it's a rock song, it's like the most derivative. Like, oh yeah, rock songs have guitars and drums in them. It's not good music. Is what I'm trying to say. And this one in this show, man, like we've come a long way. We got a long way to go, but we've come a long way, man. And it was so short.
We had like a little mini kind of serious conversation because of this show about hip hop. And
yes.
Like how many cartoons other than Rick and Morty make us like think existentially,
about our lives. Not me.
Yeah.
I would say the last time that I thought about a cartoon that made me think about my life was probably Arcane, but even then I was like, nah, that's just a really good show.
Yeah.
I'm going to unlock a trauma for you guys, but especially about hair that I've dig down deep. After my grandma died, I decided, to grow my hair out into an afro because I was a teenager and I was trying to assert my own, cultural ties to my hair. And we were sitting on the field in band. We're about to put on a performance for the entire school. And one of my bandmates came up while I was sitting on the field and spat in my afro in front of the entire school. And I did not murder him, but I was going to kill him.
Who was it?
Wow. I'm not going to name names.
Fuck yes, name names right now.
Name names on the show. I'm not going to publicly shame someone for something they did 25 years ago.
Yes. Have they apologized? Yeah. Have you gotten reparations for that? Okay, then.
Yeah, we're not going to name Chad out on the show. We're not going to let Chad
I can tell you about
Ferguson.
But let's just say that his name rhymes with our names, Jason, because it is our name. And he knows what he did. And I'm going to see you soon in hell, motherfucker.
What? Like, oh my God, that makes me
so
angry.
that hair episode, affected me as well. Because even though I'm not obviously a woman or a girl, hair is still important, and to Black men as well. We always get that tape up. So, that episode was like, damn, I can relate with that. So, So now that you're all sad, Jason, go ahead and talk about the show.
Oh yes, yeah. Now that we've downed everybody, I'll bring everybody back up. As opposed to my last review or how I felt about AntMan, I really thoroughly enjoyed the show. It's part of one of the biggest reasons I was like, hey, we should watch this show. This show has so many elements, so I'm just going to kind of break it down spot by spot for me. One, when you talked about the animation for me felt very hip hop, spray can, very like graffiti esque. I love that even if you watch when she's in normal life versus when she's Moon Girl, the animation slightly gets a little wilder, gets a little looser, gets a little more flamboyantly vibrant with the world around her. So I thought that was beautiful. One of the things that I remember when we do the book club and I talk about reading books by people of color, but people that look like me, that talk like me, that sound like me, that do phrases like me. This is that show. You can tell this show was written has women of color, but especially some black women in there, because the verbiage, even the way the animation makes their facial expressions, how they move, it felt like home. It felt like some stuff that I could hear in my house in DC. It felt like when I went to Thanksgiving with my family, the conversations that were going on.
Not your family in Florida.
No, not that sad. That is the point when we talk about diversity and having people of color in these rooms. That is why you are writing a black family that is close, that is a black character, a black superhero, and it felt like it was written by black people. And it felt like black people understood this. And going even further, I heard the majority of the people on that staff were from New York. So they even had even further feelings about how the city was represented. One, like you said, Black Girl Magic, having this brilliant black girl, in which people don't know that Moon Girl is the smartest person in all of the Marvel Universe.
Even smarter than Richard Franklin.
Yes. Move over Reed, move over Doom, move over Tony Stark. If you look at
move over Kang.
Moon Girl's the smallest person in the Marvel Universe. And so to see her come up with these things, but also the fact that she's still a child. She forgot Neutralizer. She's still a child. Like, that's so brilliant to put that into it. And it's funny because we're watching the show, and when it happens, I go, "Oh, she must not have used no Neutralizer."
Yeah.
And like you should see all the women in my household's heads just turn, and I'm like, "What? I was raised by black women. What do you like? I don't know about hair." Like, so like that's a good. Going even further to like the voice acting. I say it's 2 episodes that I think you can say it's more than that, but 2 for me that I say are classics. The hair episode, which the hair was voiced by Jennifer Hudson. 2, the Beyonder episode. And I remember when it was like, the Beyonder was the name of the title of the episode. I go, oh, my daughters go, who's the Beyonder? I said, oh, he's like one of the most powerful people in the Marvel universe. But he's usually played as very stoic and very hands-off because he tries to judge if things should blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, if it's a comic called Secret Wars. Anyway, I love this rendition of it. When I saw it at first, I didn't gonna lie, I started hating. I was like, what kind of Superfly, man? And when I just opened his mouth and started going, I was like, yeah, I'm in. Let's see where this goes. It's just a fun show. I think, like you said, I don't think you need to be black to understand it and enjoy it. I think it's just a fun cartoon. And that it looks like us. And it looks like my daughters. The hair looked like my daughters. Like it just for me was one of those experiences. Watching it by myself and then running to my kids and going, "We need to watch this." Was one of the things I'm going to remember. But also like the moments in there, the conversations. It's just a lot. And I remember it was a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. We had a conversation about ER and Grey's Anatomy and how the woke stuff hitting you over the head. Yeah. This gives you the messages, but doesn't even notice they're feeding you the medicine. Like, it's like, when your parents would put the medicine in something and that's what this was like. Because after you finish the episode, you go, oh, wow, I can't believe they got that in there. And I just slipped on past me. So I enjoy it. Here's the funny part: is Marvel going to start doing this now, where it's going to be like the animation is going to start getting better than the movies, like DC? And I'm here for it.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
The messed up part about it is like after watching Moon Girl and after seeing like it made AntMan worse for me because I was like, y'all can do this and give us like different and like affecting things in TV. Like, Loki was great. Freaking Hawkeye was great.
Yeah.
Like this is great. And then you just give us like kind of like the lowest common denominator, which is fine. But like y'all spent $200 million to give us like the low hanging fruit. And y'all spent like $10,000 to give us a piece of art, and y'all and y'all going like make it make sense to me. Like that's what I'm
right.
Like, I think it goes back to, I say this all the time, that Marvel, especially since they got acquired by Disney, I feel like they just take advantage of their fans. So they know that people are going to go see Ant-Man, for example. So regardless, they can still bank on their name. They can still bank that they're going to make X amount of money. So they don't have to keep the original script, and they can make it trash, like the ending trash, like that you guys think is, and who cares, because people are going to still go see it, because we're at the point now where we have to see everything for something that we really want to see later make sense. Like, and that was something that I was thinking about when I was watching Ant-Man, was like, holy shit, if this was someone who like is new to the MCU, they would be so lost in this movie, because like it is at the point now, Marvel, the MCU is at the point now where if you have not seen the 20 whatever movies, you will have no clue what's going on. Like, they do not stand alone any longer.
Yeah, and Jason harped on this, and I want to just bring it up again, that it's always like, and this is probably one of the things that I would ding Ant-Man for, is like they're always trying to set up something, but they don't finish the story that they're telling right now, right? And I feel like that's it's great that we're part of this big universe and stuff, and you're leading to something bigger. That's awesome. I love that. That's great to me. That's fantastic that these things build it, because back when we were kids, just getting a Batman movie where they even mentioned Robin was, in a possibility, right?
Yes.
But like, if they just concentrate on telling this story right now, like in this show, they didn't, I think she mentioned the Avengers once in the first episode, right? Like they didn't set,
a couple times, but yeah.
I mean, obviously this is a standalone cartoon show, so obviously I don't think they were making this as to be a part of the MCU or whatever. But like, they concentrating on telling the story of Moon Girl. They didn't set up, the rest of the young Avengers or whatever, or anything else. It was just about Moon Girl, and in all these movies they could do that stuff. They can tell a story and give us just a hint that something else is going to be down the road, like they did in the first movies, without sacrificing the story. And I feel like at that point, to your point, Lisa, is that they just assume that we're going to watch it, so they're like, but who cares? Like that, at the end of Ant-Man, none of this makes sense, because we'll make it pay off in like 5 movies from now, or 10 movies from now.
Which I feel like they've proved that they probably do have a plan, but it is trading in the moment, and
as you're looking at each piece, you're like, oh, this piece doesn't fit. But when you see the big, oh, now it fits. I get it. But like, while we're only looking at the small view of things, it's like, y'all can do it better.
Especially because in the beginning of the MCU, they didn't know how long it was going to stick. They didn't know how popular it was going to be. So if another movie never got made, it still was satisfying enough that it was okay. But if it did, much like Supernatural, how they always thought that they were going to get canceled every season, so they made sure every season wrapped up with a nice little bow, and then
Dean dying.
Dean dying, Sam dying, Dean.
Someone dies. And this is the end of the show. You're never coming back.
But I think that that's a Marvel thing. And I think that that's why we like the TV shows so much, because, sometimes it gets exhausting having a big, giant, big bad all the time. And you're wondering how they're going to solve it. And it's nice to just have like a monster of the week, a problem that you can solve, and
lesson you can learn.
And just getting a nice little slice of life of this is how the regular people, live. So
regular rich people that live in Manhattan.
Also, a side note, the music or choices on that was by Raphael Sadiq. So
of course,
all the hip hop and all stuff you like. Yeah, I mean it's good job for Disney. Like, we talk about the diversity.
I know. I'm honestly surprised Disney put it out. Really?
Yeah, like, good job by Disney. Like, you did the right thing. You hired executive producer Lawrence Fishburne. You got the right people in the writing room. I'm not on a first name basis with him. So
when he comes on our show and he says, You could call me Larry. Then
Right.
we
Look,
think
that's what
about
Gina
it.
calls him. That's what I'm calling him. All right.
Okay.
Nah, I ain't going that far. But yeah, so executive producer Lawrence Fishburne. You get people of color to write this. You get people of color from New York to write this, and you get the music done by one of the probably greatest musicians in R&B history.
One of the most underrated greatest musicians in R&B history.
Yeah, like it's no, and I'm trying to get more people to watch this. So hopefully, when people watch this review, they're going to want to go watch this because this is the show that we should be getting behind and pushing and wanting more of this. Yes, because this shows that you can do all black things and it still makes money, so you can get away from that excuse of being like, go bloke, or this is when you put a lot of money into black things, it doesn't sell well. Like, get rid of these stigmas by supporting something like this. So I'm here for it, man. I loved it, and I can't. Hopefully, it gets to season 2, and I'm here for it. And they get more than 6 episodes. It's like 10, and just keep it moving.
Hopefully, they don't ruin it in season. I think it's definitely going to get a season 2, but hopefully, they don't. Yeah,
they're gonna fire the animated studio and give it like some South Korean, hack job where they're like, where they have to work 80 hours a day just to get it out.
It's going to become Teen Titans Go, and we're all going to cry.
Whoa. Don't hate on Teen Titans Go.
Yo. Actually, I used to hate on Teen Titans Go, but like,
I know,
the series progresses, it gets a lot better. And I'm like, they shouldn't have got rid of Young Justice because of it. But
right, correct.
It's a fair replacement after a while.
Well, we'll know it's taken over by a new animation studio when the hair starts looking different. Then we'll know.
Oh,
when she comes out with that perm and it's straight.
I give Moon Girl straight hair. Know.
Moon Girl got a bob. Wow.
Right.
5 out of 5.
She got a pixie.
Yes, I second that. 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. We can move on to go to something else. We don't have to do the whole spiel because this is our show. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, the 5 out of 5 balls.
Everything. Whatever you're gonna ask, head. So there we go.
All the head. Just like the bunny ranch, nothing but head, guys. I had to ruin it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's fine. We're used to it.
All right. Going on to another show featuring black people in it. When a bounty hunter's 2 kids accidentally hitch a ride into outer space and crashes his latest mission, they discover that their dad's job is anything but boring. Dodging aliens and lasers and fights, this family's bonding time goes to the extreme. That is the Google synopsis of My Dad, the Bounty Hunter, also known as My Black Dad is a Bounty Hunter.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, Netflix. You're welcome.
If you don't know, now you know. For everything we do a 1-sentence review. Since it's Black History Month, Jason, go ahead and give us your 1-sentence review.
Man, that black dad need to get the belt for these damn heathens.
Damn it, you stole mine. Lisa.
Lying parents and kids who don't listen in space.
And for me is sometimes it's okay to spank your kids.
Hell yeah.
These kids. Kids were...
Now,
let's start with Lisa.
Oh
yeah. Lisa, whose kids are like the best, by the way. So
I have been blessed with amazing kids. So anytime I see stuff like this, I am like, I could never.
Throw the whole baby out.
Ever.
Please, I turn into like black dad. I'd be like, I look at my kids like, I bet not ever like that. My black dad gets you.
He's sitting here grounding his kids because he's watching this show.
Right.
They're so sassy. They got sassy mouth. They talk back. They don't fucking listen. They're disrespectful to their parents. They're disrespectful to their grandma. Like, I cannot. Like, I compared them to the kids in Are We There Yet? And those kids in Are We There Yet are bad.
That's when Ice Cube lost his gangster card. They're like, we can go ahead and take that from you, Ice. Thank you.
Listen, the kids Are We There That are so bad. And then there was another one where the kids were so bad. Johnson Family Vacation, where they're just like throwing their dad's CDs out the window, and I was like, oh my god. But anyway,
his black card, so he's still good.
Yeah, this show, which I understand it's a trope. You keep secrets from your family, like Spy Kids. My parents are these badass humans. They don't tell anyone. And I just feel like it could have all been solved if they would have just been upfront with their kids. And at the end, spoiler alert, just so y'all know, when you find out that like the mom is an alien and he, rescued her and everything. So like she knew the whole time. And I'm just like, that doesn't make sense. And if you knew the whole time, then you should have been making excuses for him instead of kind of letting your kids think that he's a deadbeat dad. I don't know. It just, I understand what they were doing. It had funny parts when the kid, what's his name? Sean? Is his name Sean?
Sean, yeah.
And he was just like, I am walking, and the robot's like, why are you talking like that?
There were some crazy
there were some gems. There were some gems in there. I was laughing so hard at that. And then, and especially when the mom's like, telling the whole story, and they're like, you're an alien, and she's like, that's all you got from that? I'm like, yeah, that's all I got from that story too, is you're an alien. And yeah, it had some hidden gems, but like, damn, these kids, like, they just they made everything so much harder than needed to be. Like, so much harder than needed to be. But the one chick, I don't know her name, but the one that like was the bounty that he was going after.
Vax.
That's her name, Vax?
Yep, Vax.
Okay. She was they made her so pretty, and I loved her.
Chung.
Oh, nice.
That's why she's pretty, because she's
yeah, she is. So,
I'll admit, when you were doing that, I was like, "Are you trying to say she's hot, or just she played a good role?" Or, but I get it. You were saying she's hot. She's all of those things. Got it.
It's good. Animated. James watched it a little bit with me, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, she kind of has like an Ahsoka vibe," and I was like, "Yeah, she does. You're right. That's probably why I think she's so good."
Yeah.
So, because I think Ahsoka is.
Is it bestiality to want to have sex with an alien?
No.
Yes.
They're humanoid. They're humanoid. It's fine.
Agree to disagree then, Jason.
They have. So yeah, that's it. Give it a watch. I see what they're doing. I get it. It wasn't my favorite, and I think if I would have watched this before Moon Girl, I probably would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah, me too.
I think I made a mistake by watching Moon Girl first, and so I was very hard on it. But it did have a lot of very funny moments. It's a cute cartoon.
You mind if I jump in next, Jason?
Jump right on in there, Jason.
All right. So
be my guest, sir.
Here's one of those things. So when we review things, because I realized that when we watch so much stuff and so much content and review a lot of things, I'm starting to get these finite rules for myself. So when I review things, that like, hey, if your show is going to be predictable, at least make it fun and enjoyable. If it's going to be predictable, this show is very predictable, 100% predictable. You can see everything coming a mile away. You knew the convict chick was actually going to be a good, like you see it all. That's the problem with this. Is not that it's predictable. It's that it's not fun while being predictable. Yeah, the wings the best in the universe. That's a great thing to have. That's fun, and it really goes nowhere because that could have been set anywhere. It didn't really matter, except for like to get the kid to go to the bathroom. But again, he could just eat bad food at any rest stop and had the same. So why make this big deal about the wings being the best in the universe, where it means nothing? And it's a lot of that stuff going on in this movie, where they set things up to be a thing, and then it's no payoff for it. It's just we just said that to say it. Now, if this is because you're going to, let's say by season 3, we're going to be in this bigger universe and all these things make more sense, then cool, but you don't know if you're going to get another season. So having this stuff in it is useless, like the Chilligan place, whatever, that's supposed to be the happiest place in the universe. and you find out the underbelly is kind of crazy. Or I guess we could say we're doing spoilers. I guess some slave labor type of bullshit going on.
Yeah.
That's cool and all, but it's almost like, again, that place is still going to run. Like it's still, I don't know. So right. Like, it just felt like a lot of things in here were just in there because they were trying to get cool stuff in there because it was so predictable, but it just wasn't really that cool. I hate, and everybody's watched the show long enough to know, I hate the bad kid trope. I think the bad kid trope is something that we should throw out. I'm just going to start now saying lazy writing whenever I see this now, because that's what it is. It's lazy writing because you're manufacturing conflict. Like, they're supposed to be eventually the heroes of your story. Don't make me hate them. Like, it's one thing if I'm watching Cannon Buster or Blast and dude stinks and I hate him. Okay, cool.
The show stinks and you hate him.
Guy. Yeah. He's an unlikable guy. I'm supposed to hate him. But don't make these kids something I hate because they're undisciplined and they're bad and they don't listen and literally tells you don't touch something and you touch it anyway. And then when he does it and you yell at him, then you try to feel bad for him because he got a whacked out eye because of stress. I don't care. Don't touch it.
Yes.
No, that's what happens if you don't touch it. Like, it's so stay on the ship and then you're wandering around. Like, it's just so much of, like, they could have created, because they made the girl, I think it was Lisa was her name, right?
Lisa,
yeah, Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
They made her so intelligent and above her age that I'm like, oh, that's something interesting you can work with. Because remember, she was good with a shot when I had her at the amusement park, and she seemed to be able to figure things out pretty quickly. Make it so that it was something that was going to happen to their father, but since they were unused to his bounty hunter lifestyle, where he maybe could have handled it, but in her mind, it's like, oh no, they're about to ambush him. We got to help. Like, made situations where they had to get off the ship and do things. So it sets up that they have this kind of almost heroic moral compass. Instead, they gave it this moral compass, but it was in direct contradiction and reflection of her father. Yeah, and it doesn't work because you know what job he does. We all know bounty hunters' job isn't about doing the right thing and being the police. Their job is about getting the people that are going to pay them. And you understand that, and you went along with it and still thought it was cool. But then as soon as it came to like something you didn't agree with, now it's no, he can't do his job. Like, it just, she was built too smart to have that kind of feelings.
As soon as the alien was hot, it's when everybody's like, "Oh, she a good guy." Nah,
right.
She's pretty. Nah,
right. Well, she ain't ugly. She ain't an ugly bug. So she's got to be a good guy. And then also, my last thing is, if you're gonna rip off Benson and do a Valgax, make that dude actually a beast. That dude sucked. That they had it. That was his former partner. Like,
played by Rob Riggle.
Like, again, if you're gonna rip off Benson, at least make the Joker as good as the original that you ripped off. But all right, again, I didn't hate it too. I actually enjoyed a lot.
Yeah, I didn't hate
Black Family, but I'm like you. I hated the fact that they make this. They got to be separated crap, and I know that at the end they try to play it off that he did the separation because he felt blah 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 blah. But stupid. You can imagine my disappointment when I found out that they weren't together. It's like, oh, we're not going to get a strong Black family. It's just this separation thing. Anyway, I still did enjoy it. It's a lot of cool parts. That the fight scene at the end, when it's like the whole all family, let's get it on. That
grandma was in there.
I was like, okay, this kind of redeems a lot of this show for me because that was really awesome. But
I agree. The last episode, sorry, Jason, I know you haven't had a turn yet, but I think that the last episode really did. I think that's kind of what they were going for, or what I think that they should have gone for the whole time, especially because you really kind of see how badass his boss was the whole time. He's like basically the T-1000, and like how are you gonna stop him? And then you get to see how badass the mom was, and I think that was the other thing is like that I was so disappointed in that, especially because they weren't together, because the mom was a badass in her own right, maybe even more badass than the dad, but she's the one who stops her career to take care of the kids, and I fucking hate that shit.
Yeah,
and like that
alien.
Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it didn't make any sense. And there are other ways. There are plenty of other ways for them to get what they wanted without having to do those things. There are plenty of other ways to get the kids out in outer space without having to make them assholes. There are plenty of other ways for the husband and wife to be not maybe estranged, but like strained without them being separated. Like there are so many different things that they could have done to still have the exact same ending, which was amazing. And it, I don't know. So I kind of like the idea of whenever people have these badass parents, and because they're their parents, they completely are like, oh, whatever, and they're like, oh, your parents a superhero, yeah, but whatever, like they downplay it, you know.
Dad's jokes.
Yeah, like I would have been fine with that. Like just the whole secrets just didn't make sense for the parents. For me, I feel like they just botched that whole
Well,
thing.
yeah, like we said, it's lazy writing. It's just like Superman and Lois. When they find out their dad's Superman, I would be ecstatic to find out my dad. So all the time you missed all that cool stuff in me, you out saving the world. Yes, they were like, ugh. And I'm like, I should punch you, kid.
But he was excited. Remember, he was excited to know his dad knew Batman, so I was okay with that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But not Damien. He didn't care about Damien.
First, before I get into my thoughts on the show, I want to ask you, because you're both parents. Would you know if your kids were magic? Because I feel like I would know if my kid was magic. Like going back to Moon Girl.
I don't pay enough attention to my kids. I probably don't know.
It's like, I don't know.
They'd be like floating shit over my head. I'd be just walking downstairs to start work. I wouldn't know. I fucking know.
100%, I would know. I would definitely know. My kids would tell me. I would know.
Well, my kids are magic. They're black girls, so they're magic.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And I don't even recognize that.
Actual devil magic, you know, with wands and shit.
Well, now, if it's devil magic, I know, because you know how black folks are about that. I've been burning sage in here and all types of stuff. But
taking to church every Wednesday, we go to church. Get this magic out you,
right?
I made the mistake, or I guess I did make the mistake. I watched the first episode of My Dad the Bounty Hunter first, and then I watched the first episode of Moon Girl. And I was like, oh, My Dad the Bounty Hunter, this is fun. I like this. This is really cool. This will probably be like one of my good things. Like. And then I watched Moon Girl, and I watched like all the whole entire season in one like sitting.
Yep.
And then like going back to like My Dad the Bounty Hunter, I was like, it kind of lost some of its luster. Kind of like, man, and now I see, because these kids are bad, and like you had to have figured out that the mom was an alien, because ain't no African American woman would let her kids act like that. And that, you know, I don't care if you're at your daddy's house. I don't care if you're your friend, boo boo fool. I don't care. Y'all ain't acting out like that. I don't care where y'all at. Y'all gonna be your best behavior. But there is all sorts of little tiny jokes in here that I just freaking love. Like they're making like references to like obscure ass movies and stuff, and I was just laughing my butt off. And I thought it was funny, even though these kids definitely need a whooping. The dad definitely need a whooping.
Yes.
Like all y'all, where are y'all parents at? Because I need y'all to come over here and do some parenting. But one of the things I really liked about this show was the voice cast in here. Like from immediately, I could recognize the dad as Laz Alonso from The Boys. His Mother's Milk. I was like, dude, that dude. Like I did not know he was a voice actor. I've not seen him or heard of him. Maybe I'm just missing his CV. But like he could do it. He could be a voice actor like fairly easy. He put a lot of emotion and attenuation in his voice, and I thought he was really, really good. Pariah Ferguson is the one that played Lisa. She is Erica Sinclair from Stranger Things. She's from Atlanta, so like I don't care if the show sucked. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5 because she's from Atlanta.
Yeah. Yep, that's the way it works.
And we're not biased at all. We're not biased.
Yeah. Completely 100% intellectually honest in this show. You know, they had Jim Rash as the fixer. He was the principal from. I'm not telling you guys to mansplain it to you. I'm telling it to the viewers. You might not know who these people are. He's the
I don't know who these people are. That's fine.
Well, so Logan immediately heard his voice and was like, "Is that Jim Rash?" And I had to look up because I don't know names, so I was just like, "Do." Yep, it's Jim Rash.
Yeah, I heard his voice and I'm like, "That's Jim Rash." And he's the principal from Community. If y'all ever watch Community, he's been in a lot of other stuff. And like,
oh, okay.
I never knew that. Like I recognize his voice, and I'm used to him being like sort of jovial and silly and weird all the time. But like he played the fixer like that dude was kind of scary, just the way he talked, and it was like
yes,
this smarmy, like corporate dude, and I was like, he did it. I said Jamie Chung is Vax. Yvette Nicole Brown was Chris. If she's also from Community, if you don't remember who her she is, you're racist. She's not Donald Glover. She's the other black person from Community.
Oh,
I'm glad you cleared that up. I was my racism was seeping through.
I know, all them people look alike, but she's a woman. He's a man. They're two different things.
Yeah.
Tomato, I mean, like the voice cast is stacked in this, and you could really tell that they had a lot of at least a lot of fun doing this. But those kids are bad, and a lot of these times, like if he just explained it to him, because my dad was a bounty hunter. And I found out that she was a freedom fighter or whatever. Well, firstly, my dad would have probably been like, "Oh, the white man is trying to take over the over the planet. We got to help him out." But if he had a job to do, he'd be like, "No, we're going to get her ass. We'll get this money, and maybe I'll buy you some shoes because look at you." So I need you to put that in the box.
I don't know if citing your dad, Jason, is probably the best example for this.
Yeah,
from the stories you've kind of let me know.
Off the rails
I
just
don't know.
a little bit.
He's the archetype of.
I love you, Dad, if you're watching this show. But he would have made that money first.
Let's go with Family Matters, Dad. If it was Family Matters, Dad, what would happen?
What would happen? He would think that racism is not a systemic issue because he's a cop, and all cops are bad.
Cop first. He's a cop first.
Oh, he didn't when his boys were profiled in Chicago of all places. He didn't take that to the chief of police and be like, "Why are we profiling young black men?" He went to the cop and said, "You're a bad cop." Like, no, he was a cop. You're a bad cop for talking to another cop about his copping.
Yeah.
Get out of here. That's why they made Urkel the fucking star.
The cop wouldn't cop on him.
Reginald Van John, your top 5 TV dads. Number 1.
That's a debate we'll have for another show.
Number 1, obviously, top black TV dad is very obviously Piccolo. That's obvious. I don't know.
I am totally down with having this conversation later.
I feel like Piccolo would be considered a mammy if you really want to. Like, he was like a black dude taking care of an Asian baby. That's the housekeeper, bro. That's not like a dad. That's the housekeeper.
Because that
that's the nanny.
Was his kid, man.
That's the nanny at that point, my man. Like, I don't really know if that's a black dad.
On his planet, he was training him. That's his kid. Yeah, Goku wasn't fucking with his kids. He don't even know his name. Which one is he?
Ain't no house ninja calling them white kids as they babies. Like, that's what Piccolo.
Come over here, my babies.
Right, I'm sorry. I mean, we know who number 1 is, but we can't say who number 1 is because we know who number 1 is, and number 1 can't be is he who should not be named anymore.
Correct.
Then Uncle Phil replaces number 1.
Yes.
I would say Uncle Phil would be my new number 1.
Yes, number 1 TV dad, hands
down. Especially in the original series when like, why did you leave me, man? Oh man.
So I know we're completely off the rails now, but since
we are. It doesn't matter.
It's more black.
So Bella started at Fresh Prince of Bel-Air from like the beginning because she never watched it, and I'm like
she wasn't born when it came out.
I know, but there's a few shows that I make them watch, but it's on I think Hulu now. So anyway, so I'm like I'm not watching every episode with her, but I'm watching as I have time watching episodes with her, and that show's so fucking good. And Carl and Uncle Phil is from the very beginning claiming Will like. And he's just, it's so good. He's just such an amazing. And then, like the episode where Will gets a job is literally because Uncle Phil called him one of his kids, and I was just like, I can't handle it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's great.
Cried when that show won a fair when they all moved.
Yeah, it's so good. That was just great TV.
Bel-Air season 2 is out. Did not know that. Got to go watch that.
I never watched Bel-Air, so
dude. Even though it's a dramatic retelling of the Freshman story, it has enough of the DNA in there to like it's good. It's good.
I love Bel-Air.
Jabari Banks, he brings like his own swagger to it, but there's enough Will Smithiness in it that you're like, that it's great. Just watch it. It's good.
I think Fresh Prince is also a good example of, even if you're not, Black, that you can still enjoy it. It is like, like a very much Black TV show about a Black family.
Especially when Black Aunt Phil is on there.
Yeah, for real. and it's really like they find a good way to be relatable, and they also find that way to not talk at you. Like, it still has heavy themes in it, but it's not like throwing it at you. It's just natural. It's great.
Carlton, who grows up in Bel Air, and Will, who also grows up in Bel Air, Will get shot.
Yeah.
And Carlton goes gets a gun and goes looking for the dudes because he's crazy.
Carlton a ride or die, bro. Come on,
Carlton's about that life.
Carlton out here, bro. Thug life, baby.
Jeffrey driving his Billy, go do some drive-bys.
Right? Put a 6-shooter, 38 special. We out here letting them know, Dirty Harry style, baby. Yeah.
Which is funny because Alfonso Ribeiro is from like Compton, whereas Will Smith is from like a really nice area in West Philadelphia. And it's always funny that they were like, Will Smith's prep school kid, even though Alfonso Ribeiro is a child actor. Like, they were from
but like, still
they played opposite of the type. But Carlton in the new show Bel Air for most of the season is straight villain.
100%.
Straight villain.
Okay.
Like, he is the worst. But like, that kid who plays him is great. Like, but straight villain. But back to My Dad, the Bounty Hunter.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we're at this point of the show where we realize that tells you how we really feel about this cartoon. We're willing to talk about everything else but the cartoon.
Yep.
That's always standard here. When we start going off on tandems that don't matter, it's
My Black Dad. Bounty hunting. That has something to do with Fresh Prince. So let's just go ahead and hit the rating system. Give it about a 1 to 5 with whatever y'all would like to give it. Jason, out of 1 to 5, what would you rate this TV show?
I will give My Dad, the Black Bounty Hunter, a 2.5 out of 5. Again, it has some points in there, but just it's so much annoyance to get to the good parts, and that's not a good thing.
Lisa, how about you?
Same, 2.5.
I will give it a little bit higher. I would give it a 3, just because I like to be, contrarian. I don't fucking know.
Okay. I remember at one point in my life I was trying to write the sitcom called My Two White Wives, but then I realized it would never take off because like it'd be a black dude dating 2 white women or married to them, and I feel like that was nothing society's ready for. But I feel like now in this era, maybe it may be ready for this.
Yes. I will one up you. I had an idea for a TLC show called A Baker's Dozen, where I would have 13 kids from 13 different women, and
that's called the Nick Cannon show.
Nick Cannon show.
You should imagine how my surprise was. I wasn't thinking about TLC, the network, but the group. I was like, "What are you talking about?" What the fuck we're talking about?
What does T-Ball's Left Eye and Chili have to do with anything? I was going to marry them.
Yeah, right. You're like, "Oh, what up? You had a TLC show," and I'm thinking, okay. Let's see where you're going with. I'm like, she's going to impregnate T-Boss and Chili, have a bunch of kids? Because the impregnation of Left Eye will be a little tough in the circumstances right now. But yeah. Sorry, I caught up a little. I was a little slow. Caught up.
I mean, TLC did have a show at one point, but it was long after Left Eye died. But I don't think they called it TLC. Yeah, it was. I can't remember what network it was on. Probably BET. But
probably yes. That's why I saw the Whitney Houston. Yes.
CMT has some shows on it where I'm always like, how is this on CMT? But okay.
Or UPN if it was still alive when they made the show.
UPN. So, that was black.
the worst part of the Whitney Houston movie, besides it just being look like a Lifetime movie for the big screen, was that they did not go over her life as a reality TV star, which I literally only paid a ticket to see that part. Like I was waiting with bated breath, waiting for her to go, oh hell to the nah, and it never happened. Well, wasting my money, guys.
They didn't even touch on the fact that she was a straight coke fiend.
Yeah, they hit on that pretty heavily.
And they had gay. No choice. Oh, sorry, bisexual. How can you do that?
Look,
they did hit on she was bisexual too, so
she got Bobby Brown hooked on that.
Yeah, she did. Probably so. I can believe that.
Everybody always thinks Bobby Brown's a villain, but he's not.
Well, because the only reason I say I can believe that is because she was doing a richer person's drug. Mm-hmm. Bobby was broke. Whitney Houston did grow up in a family that was like, I ain't saying we're rich, but they weren't broke. Like her fucking godmother was like Dionne Warwick.
Dionne Warwick.
Yeah. Like so, she knew Aretha Franklin. Like Aretha Franklin become like they mentioned it in the movie. Like all these famous people that she knew and hang around with because of anyway. But yeah. She definitely got Bobby hooked on that stuff, man.
Which also goes to show you're not untalented. You're just broke.
100%. Or you start realizing the more and more you look up the family trees of famous people.
Oh yeah.
It isn't like it's very rarely a rags to riches shit. It's like, oh yeah, my aunt and uncle were like really good at this thing too.
It's all nepotism.
Yeah.
Or the fact that your parents are rich enough for you just to be like, I can just focus on this 100% of the time. And I don't have to go work at McDonald's.
Yes.
So I can go to my, apartment that's a 1-bedroom with roaches. I'll just live in my parents' pool house and, make music or act in my.
Yeah. Well, if you think about like Tobey Maguire and Leonardo DiCaprio and
I never think about Tobey Maguire.
They all grew up together. They were all kids.
They went to high school together. In the nice high school in Beverly Hills.
That's such a wide range too. Like I would probably go like Tobey Maguire, then maybe Jake Gyllenhaal because they're both a little whatever, and then DiCaprio is seeming more creepier the older he gets now.
Well, the fact that he doesn't date a woman over 25 and he is nearly 50 is a little weird.
And he literally is breaking up with them like right before their 25th birthday. It's creepy.
Good for him.
Yeah, but they're all still like BFFs. Oh my god.
I
couldn't be around 25-year-olds.
It's hard. It's really, really hard.
I couldn't imagine being in a relationship with a 25-year-old now. So definitely not when I'm 50. But
I realized
we got kids that are like
this. I was just saying, I realized my role partially in this show is to be the one that's closer to toxicity. So I'm just gonna lean in sometimes and pull myself back.
That
right before I go over the cliff, just bring myself back a little bit. Good
for him.
Right? Yeah, I mean, look, I look at it this way. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like,
but he's also Leonardo DiCaprio. If he was just like Leonardo DiCaprio who wants a fucking Midas down the street, he wouldn't be doing this.
So, also, I feel like now, and this is something that is going to be, I think in our society we acknowledge more now, and we're better at it. But if it was like a 50-year-old woman only dating a 23-year-old, I don't think nobody would care as much. And now I think we care a little bit more than we did in the past. We'd just be like, oh man, Stella got it. They made a whole movie about it. Stella got a movie back. Like it was a whole thing about her banging this younger dude. Like,
but they've also made a shit ton of movies about the opposite. And it's I mean,
oh no, I agree.
I've seen The Professional. It's weird.
Oh no, I agree. And I'm not saying this in the sense of defending DiCaprio. I'm saying in the sense that like I think as long as he's not like meeting them at 14 and then waiting until they're 18 to get with him, then if they're like 19 and 20 and he's meeting them then, I'm like, Lisa, I personally wouldn't want to do that because I'd be like, what can we even talk about? Like,
you can go to Chuck E. Cheese. She can play in the ball pit while you drink a beer. I think all the tokens you need. Go ahead and have fun.
I'm pretty sure he has a ball pit in his own house. You can take that how you want to take that. But it's just one of those things again, like, as long as he's not grooming them and they're just like, and I know it's a hard thing because when they're that young, it's hard not to groom. But as long as he's not getting them super young and like, oh, I'm waiting until you get 18. Like,
you about to turn 18 real
just, yeah. But it's creepy though. Because I'm like
Taylor Johnson. But yeah.
Speaking of something,
what happened to him? What is he doing?
Oh, you don't know about him?
Kick-Ass?
No.
Yeah, you know who he is, right? Yeah, Kick-Ass. Like his wife she's like 25 years older than him or something crazy.
Oh.
She was his director when he was like 16 or 17. And and like literally like the second he turned 18, then they're magically dating and then married like a few months later, and she was like pregnant. Like so she already had kids, so her kids were calling him dad like when he's like 18, 19 years old. Like, and she's immediately getting knocked up. So like now they have like 5 kids or something. And he's like it's like a whole thing. He's younger than us, I think, right? Or
yeah, like, probably or like French President Emmanuel Macron, who married his I want to say his elementary school teacher.
No.
Oh wow.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the grades are in France.
Yeah. So it definitely does happen to men. I think it's just not as like you said, that they don't make it. But yeah, but 100% that's grooming.
And also too, sometimes some young dudes be trying to shoot their shot. Like remember, I was watching that Harry Potter reunion, and I think Daniel Radcliffe tried to shoot his shot at Helen Bonham.
Yeah,
but she did the responsible thing and was like, "You're a child, ha 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 ha," and kept it moving. But look, I remember when I was a kid, sometimes I had a guidance counselor in high school. I'm like, look,
if Tim Burton ever becomes too racist for you, Helen, I'm right.
Well,
but then you also have Tom Felton, who was like 3 years older than Emma Watson, and was just like, nope, 100% friends. Like,
he was also still
and they have like a minuscule. No, they were best friends. Did you not watch the documentary?
No, I'm not watching no documentary with no J.K. Rowling's name on it.
Look, this took a slant.
I have to get some political capital because I'm going to buy that damn game, right? So I have to stay away.
I asked my wife if she wants it. She still hasn't made a decision yet. So
I have to stay away until I can get my hands on enough money to buy the game, and then I can be like, then I have to stay away.
I don't want to play it because, like, if I don't like end up in the house that I want to be in, I'm gonna be pissed.
You pick your house.
You can choose your house.
I thought you just like fill out like a thing and they make
and then
then you say, but I
don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, man. That's cheating.
Technically, it's not because in the books they say that Harry chose Gryffindor because he was like,
look, he's not gonna watch a documentary with her name on it, but he's gonna fucking quote it with her name on it. You make no sense, Jason. You make no sense. You contrary a-hole.
So we need 10K for him to agree with you? Is that what we need? 10K?
I read all the books before she came problematic. All right.
Well, before she told us she was problematic, because she probably was always problematic.
Oh yeah, I mean,
never told us. I mean, Shacklebolt.
Bobby was always
the writing was literally on the wall.
Yeah. I love on TikTok. People will do skits where they'll be like, "Hi, I'm in." There'll be a Harry Potter character. I am the bisexual character. My name is, Kim. Another, gender neutral name, or because the one Irish guy.
Yeah.
Hold on, because isn't it a trans person in the game supposedly?
Yeah. And her name is even though they named her after a Irish god, her name is like Sir something. Like the first part of her name is Sir, so it's like an Irish god. It's like Sir, and everybody's like, you named a trans person and you put Sir in their name.
Not Saoirse.
I don't know. I can't remember the name.
Name. I love that name, and it's spelled so fun. But
can you imagine like the meeting when they got to tell Joanne that, like, hey, we're gonna put this trans character there? Absolutely not. $5 million. Well, I mean, as long as you make it like a male name with the woman's name, I can take that.
We are still going to allow the players to put down an obviously Jewish people's uprising, so it'll be all right. So what can we switch?
Oh, the goblins. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh man. Yeah.
I just can imagine like if J.K. Rowling had wrote like Harry Potter but from an American perspective, and then they'd just be like, this is Blackinson over here. Darcy McGee.
Have you seen
Darcy Johnson?
Have you seen on TikTok Jason, I think the girl who's like, it's a black girl, and she's like, if I were the Hogwarts teacher, and
yes. I think
and
she's like,
was like,
Hermione, we need to do something with your hair.
Yeah, Hermione. And she's like, what do you mean you're going out? No, you're not. Turn around. Get back in your room. She's amazing.
She stopped doing that because the internet's a terrible place. And like she was getting some backlash, or not really backlash, but people were like, oh, you're like the token Hogwarts teacher or something stupid like that. I think they're funny. And it's just like, I'm not doing this no more. Like I was trying to do some fun stuff and like people ruin shit.
Always.
Look, I understand being like internet funny is a hard thing because you don't want to really offend it. Excuse me. When you have a heart, you don't really want to offend anybody. You want to make the joke. Because even as I've been trying to spend more time and I'll be making comments and jokes, like I have to actually think when I'm doing this to go, will someone misinterpret this the wrong way or think I'm being cruel and rather just playful? Like, it doesn't take long to that because you know what? That same joke they made, you could have just showed your friend that and then made that dumbass joke personally and nobody would care. Except for the
nobody
person
would
who went. Yeah, like it's a certain thing about saying offensive stuff if you prefer to do that with people that you know that you're just fucking around, not the internet.
Yeah, and also with it, because mostly it's text-based stuff. You don't have tone or intonation, they don't fucking know you either. So like they don't know if you joke. I actually ran into a problem because I commented on one of these followers, these girls that I follow, saying, "Oh, you confirmed my bias," and she was like, she took it as in me saying that she was, being, bias confirmed or whatever. And I was like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry if that's how you went. It was completely misworded wrong. I'm sorry if I sounded like I'm an asshole. I was talking about myself. I wasn't talking about you. Your take was 100% great. I loved it. I am so sorry if I offended you in any way, shape, or form." And I made sure to apologize profusely because I, did not think that, she's reading it rather than knowing that I'm joking. Right. So you got to be careful on the internet. So don't say shitty things to people. How about that?
Yeah.
So here's the last thing I have for it. I'm going to Jess's younger brother's wedding this weekend, and that's why I got to do it tonight. I will be one of the token black people there. The question is, over and under 2.5 black people being there, not including my family.
Not including your kids.
Not including me and my family, my 2 kids, yeah. So it had to be over under 2.5.
You going down to Florida?
Yes. And it's going to be Orlando, and it's going to be like a Disney.
Y'all going to be the pepper and the salt shaker.
So you're going under.
I'm going under. There might be, I will say there might be one random other minority person there. But they won't be black.
Wait, should I drop the line to 1.5 then? Make it more competitive?
They won't be like, there might be like an Asian person or maybe like, a South Asian person or some other Asian person or maybe a white passing Latina. But,
all right, I'm dropping the line to 1.5. You've convinced me. All right, 1.5. Are you still taking it under?
I'm taking it under still. I'm going to be like, y'all in Florida. Orlando? Yeah.
No way. I'll take the over.
All right.
What do we win if we get this?
We will reveal these results next week, ladies and gentlemen. Worst competition ever.
Jason, before we close the show, I would like to ask you one question.
Yes.
What other superhero, Avenger, would you have taken to beat Kang and still be like, okay, he's still a bad guy. He's still like the big bad.
Wait, what? What's the question?
Another Avenger who could actually end up beating Kang like Ant-Man did, but you would still be like, oh, he's still going to be a problem, even though this person just beat him.
I know the answer to this.
Well, you can have your own answer.
I know. I'm keeping my mouth shut.
The only person I can think of, it probably would be Captain Marvel, only because Thanos like one-shotted her with the Power Stone, but before he did that, he couldn't even do anything to her. And so if he took that L from there, we could be like, okay, well, Thanos had to one-shot her with a Power Stone to even get her out of the way. She'd be the only one, because as much powerful Scarlet Witch is, if you punch her in the face,
she's still a person.
right. Like
she's just a person.
So I'm probably gonna go with. Trying to look around. I'm gonna go with Captain Marvel's the only person that I think he could take an L to, and I still would feel like he's universal threat or multiversal threat. Excuse me.
Lisa, who would be your answer?
Scarlet Witch. She wouldn't let him get close enough to get punched in the face. 100%.
I'm gonna say
next would be what's his name?
AntMan, because he just did it.
Oh, Doctor Strange.
Yes, thank you, Doctor Strange.
I was gonna say AntMan. AntMan going to go up his butt. What does it do with
Doctor Strange?
In fact, that should be AntMan's like first move. Is like shrinking down.
Like in The Boys.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even give credibility to Doctor Strange because let's keep it a bean. Doctor Strange be getting the crap beat out of him every time we see him fight.
He shouldn't be. He shouldn't be. I think that's an MCU thing.
Yeah,
he's
pretty
fucking powerful. They're underutilizing him greatly. I don't know what's going on with that.
100%.
If Hawkeye beat him, I'd still be like, yeah, he's the bad guy. He's really
yeah.
All Hawkeye's got his power is his hands. That's all he's got.
Look, man, that just a guy with a bow and arrow shooting robots. If you just summed it up perfectly. Yes, Hawkeye. Yes, you are that guy. This chick got cosmic powers, and you got a bow and arrow. You're like, I'm not shook. And you shook.
What the fuck am I doing here?
Right.
Let's be at home with my kids right now.
Don't make any sense.
Don't make
any sense.
This is such a top of the powerful shield. Right.
Why you can't call him the number? I got a family.
ICU. Hey, Hawkeye, we got another world in the threat. We need you. God damn.
What was it? Age of Ultron, right? Here he's disappointing my kids.
Right.
I got a multi-billionaire friend over there who knows I'm just a dude with a bow and arrow and still hasn't made me a suit.
Nope.
Right?
Hey, I'll give Tony Stark credit. At least he built the black guy suit first.
Nah, because the black guy had to steal a suit because racism.
Did he steal it? I thought he got it. I thought
he stole it in the first movie.
They went and had to steal it from.
Rhodey stole the suit from him and took it to the American government.
Yeah.
Which Rhodey.
Yeah.
You sib him for the wrong girl.
The Patriot or something, right? They did like the whole show of everything.
The Iron Patriot,
yeah. I guess in my mind, I thought like he gave him that suit, and then when they broke apart, he just went to the other side and was like, "Oh, I got the suit."
Yeah, because it was one of the. It was like the Mark II or whatever, one of his first suits that he stole. But he didn't even paint it yet. He didn't even get the nice one. He got the fucking jalopy.
Yeah.
That he was like, I don't even want it anyway.
The Falcon had to steal his shit too.
Yeah, that's hot wire the suit. All right, it is.
He's got a half-lit cigarette hanging on his mouth.
Right. Shut up, Jarvis. I'm taking this. God in 60 seconds, the Rhodey edition. Oh, that's the MC movie we should see. That's the one shot they should have made.
Someone make that a cartoon, please.
I'm just imagining him in his house shoes and a wife beater.
Okay, if it's Tony Steak, I'm kicking his suit.
Tony Steak.
I what you gotta say something to me. Done all this damn work for my country. I better get me some suit. Oh man, yeah. That's why that's why they cast Terrence Howard first.
Yeah,
they wanted that look.
He's like, man.
Yeah.
When them suits, man. He got his hair in so fun because he got the curls in.
All right, I guess we can end the show, Jason. I think we've given everybody two hours.
I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, we can go.
Oh wait, I need to say something. For listeners, if y'all are trying to follow me on social media, because I've had a bunch of like random people request to follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is private. So it's literally, I only have Instagram for like friends and family that I never see, and because I don't have a Facebook. And so Jason. Instagram, yeah. And Facebook is that's my answer to Facebook. So if you are sending me friend requests on Instagram, you need to follow me on the Headcanon Circus Instagram, not on my personal one. But everything else is not private, so you can follow me on all the other socials. I'm taking a break from TikTok for Lent to just completely
cleanse the soul.
Yeah, just to so I'm not deactivating it. Last year I had to actually take it off of my phone. But I have more discipline this year. So I'm not going to deactivate it. You can still request, follow me, watch my old videos and stuff like that. But I won't be on for another 38 days now. So, but yep. So if you're trying to find me, also you can just DM us on the Headcanon Circus socials, and the guys will let me know, and then we'll chat. So, or they won't.
We'll just pretend to be Lisa. No, hey guys.
Yeah.
I'm just saying what's up. I'll type it in that voice.
Here, go ahead. Oh, yeah. If you want to meet up, just go ahead and cash me $100. My cash app.
Oh yeah, you guys can totally Venmo us for sure.
Yes.
We'll
I like some new Jordans, size 11 and a half, boo. Thank you.
Men's, please, because I wear men's clothes. I'll meet you there.
So if it sounds like that, it's not me, just so y'all know. Okay. But yeah, hopefully we can get been more active on social media. So hopefully we can get some more followers.
Jason has a plan.
I guess we'll review the cleaner next week.
Oh yes.
Yeah, we're gonna do the cleaner next week. Yeah, we got it.
You know what? If we can ever get Sam Jackson on this show, then we'll review the cleaner. How about that? And he'll come on. And
I'm sure Sam Jackson's like, you want to review my 2007 seminal movie, The Cleaner? Oh yeah,
you never know. Sam Jackson is an amazing human. Maybe someone will pass us on to him. And then
Morehouse Man.
I've seen some of the movies he's made. He coming on our show would not be a downgrade for some of the stuff he's done. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
That'd be amazing, though. Honestly, I would die if we got Sam Jackson on the show.
I've done all the things I need to do in life. I'm done. Show over. We're done. Nothing will ever be this great again. Also, for all of our listeners and viewers and followers, if we reach 5,000 viewers or subscribers on YouTube or on any other one of our platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Tunes, whatever, Jason and I will do hot yogurt with Lisa. I don't want to do that, so please don't make me do that and stop subscribing. No, actually, subscribe so we can do that. Also, if we get to 10,000, we're going to do I'm going to have to agree with Lisa for everything.
Yes. For everything that I say.
She says.
Even if I say The Greatest Showman is the greatest movie ever made, ever, he got to agree with me. He doesn't. That's the deal.
Hopefully she won't let me make me do that because
make it happen, y'all.
And then if we do 15,000, this probably changes every week. Every time we say this, we'll do a Taylor Swift only episode.
Yes.
Please don't make me do that. And if we get some number over that, then I will allow you, the viewers, as well as my lovely co-hosts to fuck with my dating profiles on the internet.
Yes, please, guys.
I feel like we should just do that anyway.
I know, right? You should just let us do that.
Daily Bumble update.
More subscribers.
yeah. Daily Bumble update. Just let us know how it's going in these streets.
Yeah.
How many single moms can Jason attract in an hour? 0.
If you have Lisa do your profile, sploosh it up a little bit, then you let me talk for you when they text you. Yeah, you be in there like swimwear.
It's totally not immoral.
And then they see my pictures and like, oh yeah, swipe left.
Well, that's Lisa's job. She'll make sure they swipe right. Is that how you?
Well, just put a picture of Jonathan Major.
There you go.
Just say I'm very similar to this guy. Say with all the muscles or the talent or the charm. Or even like
I look like Jonathan Majors. Here's my picture. Do you see the resemblance? And it's just Jonathan Majors. We'll put a little Photoshop on it just to make it a little less like him.
Have him have a mustache.
Right. Swirly mustache.
Give yourself a scar and it'll be like candy.
Get him a scar. Just right down the eye.
Yeah. Stupid. Okay. I apologize. Go ahead.
Lisa, do you have any closing words for us? For
yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. Don't forget to go to our website, please. Jason worked really hard on it, so please go check us out. We got a couple blog posts. Engage. If you guys would please send us
money.
Well, yes, Black History Month's almost over, so you better Venmo your Black friends some money. If you can just like tell us if there's things you want to see, that we're here for you guys. So if there's things you want us to review, talk about, anything like that, we would love to do that so we can get more people. Please just, anytime you like and subscribe, please just repost it somewhere else so we can just bump up the views.
Share.
And yeah. I mean, I got a foot tattoo, so if y'all want to see that, you just let me know.
You just got this so spicy.
Maybe that's on our Pantheon.
It's Ed Kenneser's OnlyFans. There's not only this feet, but our feet as well. There's our ugly ass man toes.
Listen, we try and I got eye surgery last year. I'm trying to pay that shit off. Like
just gnarled toes, fungal. Just gnarly. You have any last words for us?
Yeah. As Lisa usually talks about, support Black businesses.
Yes.
I had a Black business that I support, and I was like, I should mention it on the show. They're really good people. So, Sweet Brown Sugar Bakery. It's in Grayson, down the street from me. Great Black owned, delicious desserts. They even do chicken salads and tuna salads and soups. And quiches, like it's really, really good, guys. Every time I go in there,
can you text us that link or what?
Oh, 100%. Every time I go in there, I probably spend. Oh, again, I just remembered it today to bring it up, but I usually spend about $80 every time I go in there. Me and the girls go in there, we just wreck shop. So
pick out what you want, kids. We don't even care.
Right.
We got that tax return.
Right. Well, that's gonna be happening real soon. Tax money, baby. But yeah, please check them out, man. Enjoy the sweets; it's really good. They all do custom cakes as well. They actually had a cake in there that's on display that looked like a stack of pancakes with syrup on it, but it was like a vanilla cream cake. It looked amazing. Yeah. So yeah, they're great. They're dope. And Grayson, the address for people are 2023 Grayson Highway in Grayson, Georgia. So. Yeah, next time we all get together, I'll make sure I buy some stuff and bring it with me so you guys can have
please.
It as well. With the liquor, so we can drink that as well.
The only problem is you have to go to Grayson, which is the armpit of Gwinnett.
Yeah, that's why I'll do it for you and bring it to you guys.
Yeah.
Yes, he already said he would do it.
Little known fact: this show here is also a Black-owned business. So
He did that.
Well, anyway, thanks everybody for joining us once again. It's been our pleasure to share this time with you guys. Please be kind, be considerate, and tip your servers and bartenders at least 20%, if not more, if you can afford it. And since it is Black History Month, tell Jaren that the Irish weren't slaves.
Indenture.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hard sell there at the end of the show.